You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome to Dover, Delaware, and the Monster Mile for round number 11 of the SNN Cup Series. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tony Trapasso. He's Matt Metler. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Sunday evening. And Matt, welcome to Dover. Have you had your Dungeness crab yet?
I haven't, but I will before I get out of here. So, Tony, check it out. Sunday night, we know we're always primetime with SNN, but we have a concrete racing surface. And you know Miles the Monster, he's going to be hungry for some carnage on the racetrack. Do not sleep here or this track will eat you alive. But that's everything we all come to love about Dover. Right here, it all goes down tonight. I can't wait.
Think of this place as Bristol on steroids. And Miles the Monster is a pure representation of what happens when you put a track on steroids. You get an angry monster that, yes, this track will bite you, and it'll bite everybody behind you because there are walls on both the inside and outside of this track. There's really nowhere to hide here.
No, you can't even really hide under a rock, well, because, well, they're not any, but to keep it simple, no one is safe on that racing surface if you are inside of those inside and outside while retaining walls. Out here competing on the surface, you have to manage the racetrack, race the race, be there at the end when it counts. Pit stops, critical. If you can execute and avoid any type of on-track incidents, it's going to give you a great shot to be up front at the end. Is typically the story of attrition here is key.
Oh, it absolutely is. And the other thing to keep in note is the fact that this track being concrete, it's notorious for just cheese gratering the right front tire. It will destroy tires if you are not careful. And we just saw what can happen if you destroy your right front tire. You'll bang off the outside wall and then be used as a pinball as you carry them, or more like a pool ball as you carry them to the inside wall. And then hopefully you can, pull a masse and get around the cars the cars behind you can get around you as you masse back up to the outside wall before you stop your crash, because safer barriers on the outside, safer barriers on the inside, absolutely nowhere to hide. This race is definitely going to be one of carnage.
Oh, it certainly will. And just because it's safer doesn't mean it's not easier to catch your car should you start that sequence that Tony just mentioned. But what happens when you burn off that tire up front? Well, you go to feed wheel down into the corner, you crank it to the left. Well, there's nothing happening over there on that side. It's all burned off. So what happens? That car plows up the racetrack, and you start the pinball sequence when you bang the outside retaining wall. Then you abruptly come down. You try to catch it. Typically don't have enough time. And then what happens, Tony? You eat that inside wall is round as well. That's the old 1-2 ricochet, and typically after that, Miles has won. But you're absolutely right. Drivers have to be very conscientious of their tires, especially in this next-gen car, which always seems to struggle for mechanical grip at these types of racetracks. So don't overdrive it, or like you said, you will pay.
Well, the other problem is if you go to put wheel in, okay, it's not turning, so you put more wheel in. Okay, it's still not turning, you put more wheel in. Now that right front tire is just plowing, it finally catches, and next thing you know, the back end just snaps around on you. And now you're in deep trouble because you've just lost all your downforce with the way that this car generates the downforce.
Yeah, I believe you're describing the term push loose.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pushing up the racetrack, feed more wheel, and all of a sudden it catches. And when it does, you got so much cranked in her, that car is just going to howitzer around on you. And
I heard the greatest way to describe that by Sterling Marlin one year. We were pitted next to him, and I forget what track we were at, but I heard him tell his crew chief, it's kind of a loosey, tighty, kind of like driving an old log wagon.
but his team got it, or the guys that mattered figured out what he was
Oh yeah,
about.
they knew exactly what he was talking about. So, hot lap session coming to an end. We're getting ready to fire off qualifying here. 2 laps to get it done. This is going to be fun. As we're going to bring up the qualifying tower. Who's the first one to roll it? Big shocker. Man, I say man is every week. J.C. Gibson in that blue Rhino number 27.
I think he kind of prides himself on this at this point.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
Perfectly fine. You got to be a pioneer in something.
Matt, this is going to make you very happy. Look who's back in the 6'9".
Oh, yeah, that's what's up. Let's go. Let's go.
Alexander Gangler also back out on track. Carl Dodson making his return to the series. We haven't seen him since Daytona.
You know, Tony, I must say this new alien technology that you brought me
You're welcome.
is just breathtaking.
Do you love what's going on the bottom of your screen where you can see the sectors?
I love it, but I can't believe it, but I love it because I have been like praying for this at night.
We're watching Seba Cornez go around the track right now. Something we didn't get a chance to mention last week. Seba led 35 laps, and he was only 10 laps away from leading the most laps last week. Ooh, big wiggle coming out of 2 for Seba. Is Nick Stein to the top of the pile? Good grief, Nick.
0-2 to the front with
over a tenth. And Travis Cranborg ties him. Dodson goes even quicker.
Oh, you want to talk about qualifying not being exciting? Stein comes up with a masterful lap, and then Dodson outdoes himself again at a 22:33.
Holy
22:33.
Cats. And the guy that's been on the podium the last couple of weeks, Ryan Samuelson. Let's take a look at Ryan. His first flyer down the back straightaway. That's a pretty line that he's holding around this place. About half a car width off that bottom line, going into the corner, late apex to stay off the wall. That's how you do it here at Dover. And Samuelson's going to go 7th quick on his first lap, and everybody is picked up on their second lap. We are going to stay with Samuelson because that's the best first lap we've seen out of anybody.
Yeah, that was super strong at a 22:66. You're absolutely right, Tony. The pickup on lap 2 has been pretty impressive. Let's see where Samuelson falls here.
He negated the lap.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. It means he must have had minor contact somewhere in that lap. In order for it to count, you have to be flawless. If you hit anything, no matter how lightly, iRacing scrubs that lap. But look what we have on the front row right now, Tony. A Chevrolet piloted by Carl Dodson, who put up a 22:33 compared to Raymond Roots, who is in P2 right now at a 22:52.
Dodson's got something figured out, and I am happy to see Joe Stafford's third quick. And Sean Rogers into the top 10, your highest running blue oval in 6th.
Tony, we've been talking about this for a while. We see this in racing all the time. When you have a team that is just lights out, right? And everyone is chasing them. That makes everyone do what? They work harder. They pay more attention to the finer details. They stay up later.
They figure it out.
They figure it out. Is this a fluke? Did Carl Dodson just run a nuclear warhead around this racetrack at a 22:33? Or have the Chevrolets figured out a formula to compete with those Prodigy esports cars? I think this may be a telltale sign. It all goes down the night. You see that 19 machine out there now. Another TRD on the track, making his first lap here.
That's Alex Princeton. Oh!
Princeton loses it. What a save.
Well, he's going to negate this lap, but he's definitely got heat in the rear tires now. Hopefully he didn't flat spot those pieces.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have chocolate pudding with him in his driver's seat after that.
Oh, considering that this track used to be sponsored by Hershey's.
That's exactly where I was going with this, Tony.
I'm counting 28 haulers in the infield, so, you know, we're normally seeing 40-car fields, but you know what? I'm happy we've got a short field tonight, Matt, because about 30 cars is good for a track like Dover. Second lap for Princeton, only going to put him 16th quick. He is not going to be a happy camper about that one. As Cody Colley starts to roll. Hey, we've got the Superflow Camaro back. We haven't seen him since race number 2 or 3. I think it was Phoenix. Phoenix was the last time we saw him.
Yeah, it has been a while since we've seen the Superflow made famous by Days of Thunder and Cody Colley contending for a win here under the SNN umbrella. It's about time to get this man back on the track. Another Chevrolet. Great to see him back. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he kicks things off here, Tony, in qualifying.
Solid
first lap.
Solid run at the line so far. And he's doing that late apex thing that we saw Samuelson doing. A little bit higher on the track than Samuelson was, though, and I'm a little concerned. Down towards the apron, about half a car width off that paved line, bangs the wall, going to negate this lap. Hopefully lap 2 is going to be a little bit better for him. He's going to have to get that car down on corner exit. Does a lot better during turn 2 there. And he's going into turn 3 too early, and the car's washing up on corner exit. He's got to feather it. It's going to put him in the field, but only 18th quick.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. And obviously, Tony, with all your time in the sport and experience, when I run this racetrack, I rock the bottom just like Kevin Harvick does at Atlanta. And if you can do that and run the shortest way around this racetrack, know how to manipulate the throttle, you're going to have a bad, fast car. Now, you do pay for it a little further on in the run, but the performance is fantastic.
You just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I was about to say is the only thing you're doing by ripping the bottom here at Dover on a consistent basis is you're just chewing up that right front tire, trying to keep that car down. You want to be about a car width and a half. You can see where the top of the dark line is. You want to be right side tires at the top of that dark line through the corner. That's going to be the fast way around, and you're not going to have the tire fall off that you have by trying to rip the bottom. Lauren Jones' first lap's going to put him 20th quick.
P20, Lauren Jones, that Cheetos paint scheme back on board. Probably one of my favorite paint schemes in the series, if you ask me, Tony. I know Dave Riegel's a big fan of that car as well. Rocking the Ford Blue Oval, showing the love. Let's see how he does here on lap 1. 23:15, this time by at the line. Does he improve?
23:11.
23:11.
Improves his time, does not improve his position. And it looks like Kenron, Rich Jett, Steve Herring, and John Wilco electing to not take time. As we've got 2 minutes left, so they do have time to get those laps in.
If they so choose.
I just don't think they're going to... and Rich Jett and Ken Ron are used to starting in the back because, they they start back there to try to avoid that lap one mayhem. Everybody's on fresh tires. You're amped up to be racing at Dover. This is going to be your only full-length Dover race here on a Sunday. So thank you all for joining us.
Hey, that's right. Rain at the real event today, which means this is the only official simulated race we're going to see in full length distance, like you said here tonight, Tony. That's a great point. Getting back to what you said there about the line here, I cannot run that line for the life of me. I know it's supposed to be fast, the fastest way around here. My car just plows up the racetrack. I've tried everything.
Well,
when I rip the bottom, I do a ton of throttle modulation to try and limit burning my stuff up, which helps. But I cannot run that line you speak of to save my life.
What you want to do, Matt, is you and I later this week, when we both have time, we're going to Irwindale. And I'm going to coach you on the fast line at Irwindale. If you can run Irwindale, it's going to help your Dover, and it's going to help any other highline track. Bristol, for example, where the highline can rip pretty well. Or if you can master Irwindale, you can master just about any other track in iRacing.
Oh, I'm fired up. That's the best offer I've ever had in my life. So I'll take you up on that, Tony. Now we're through qualifying.
Getting ready for the warm-up period. Giving these guys one final shot to tune their setups. And let's take a look at tonight's point standings. What do you say, Matt?
Let's go for it.
Big shocker. All Toyotas in the top.
Are you?
Top 8. Top 8. Rich Jet Chevy, the first non-Toyota in the top 10. But Travis Kraneborg, look at that points lead. That's a full race to the good, including bonus points for stages.
Yeah, he could literally take a week off, not even bother coming to the racetrack, go out golfing, whatever he wants to do. And regardless of who wins, what happens in that race, after it's finished and the results are in, he's still the points leader.
And you know why? What have we seen him do the last couple of weeks? We have seen him just not give up, wad a car, and just keep driving, keep turning laps, and get as many points as he can. He has finished every race this season.
Well, that's just it. When he's not winning races, adversity slams him and hits him and his team hard. And like you said, that no quit can do. I will find a way. And how many classics have we seen so far this season, watching that man battle back through adversity and putting that car in position to contend at times, even though it's horribly wounded. It's just been miraculous to watch. It's been exciting. And you can't say enough about the driver of that 21 machine. And that's exactly why, like you said, Tony, he's P1 in the standings.
Absolutely. RJ Root currently sitting in second place. Jeremy Miller, Brandon Edstrom, all for PRE. Seba Cornez for Four Wide Motorsports, still a Toyota. Then you got Murray and Stein for PRE. And then Tanner Marty for Four Wide. Those Toyotas have just had it their own way in this early going. And, it's refreshing to see what we saw here tonight with a couple of Chevys and a couple of Fords in the top 10. This is going to be a good one tonight. I think this is going to be the track to decide the rest of the season. If you can kill the Toyota momentum here at Dover, Marty the Monster is going to eat them.
And we'll throw two monsters out there, Marty and Miles, tonight, just to make sure.
Sorry, Miles. I don't know.
I do that all the time, Cody.
I haven't slept in 3 days.
Oh, there's Emily Urias out on the racetrack in the 6 SRM zone. But, getting back to what you were saying about those Toyotas, Tony, when you control the race or your counterpart of your team controls the race, I don't think that's, an area that's given enough credit or talked about enough. when you do that consistently week in and week out, it makes it really difficult for everyone else when either you're leading or one of your teammates are out there playing the puppeteer at every single racetrack. And I think that's a big reason why you see all those Toyotas there up in the standings, because they virtually help each other. And when you have that many strong cars just dominating, it pretty much puts them in a different level. So of course they're gonna be on the king of the throne, or in the top 3, top 5. But like you said, go ahead, man.
Here's the other thing to consider about that PRE team. Those Prodigy Esports guys, they run a lot of NIS Open, and when they're not running NIS Opens, they're in private testing sessions to tune on those setups to make sure that those cars are going to perform the way they want to, from the time that it's fresh shoes to the time those shoes are completely worn out. It's time to put new ones on. They make sure that those cars are going to do what they want them to do. As Emily does the pinball action and bangs both bumpers, but those PRE guys, they put in work, and it's going to take somebody that's willing to put in more work than they do to be able to figure something out.
You said it best right there. More work than what they do. And we all know how much they do, just like you said. And that's only part of it. I mean, those guys, they put so much time in, week out, in all areas of racing. The camaraderie, the level of trust that they have amongst the drivers. You hear it every time we interview them, and you're right. Well, if you want to beat them, you have to put in that much more of an effort.
Exactly. And here's the thing, Matt. Let's go to basketball for a second. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. You know what made those men great? They would show up 2 hours early for practice and stay 2 hours late.
You're talking about leading by example.
Exactly.
And that's a big part of what made them, the greatness that they were out there on the court and respected by millions. As you see now, we've completed that warm-up session. Hopefully everyone's got their cars locked, ready to rock here, because it's about to go down here from Dover, Delaware, as Carl Dodson puts a Chevrolet on the front row.
He's going to be joined up there with RJ Root. Joe there's RJ out of Gloucester, Virginia. Joe Stafford going to start inside row number 2. He's going to be joined with Nick Stein. Row number 3 is going to give us our points leader, Travis Greenberg, out of Southampton, New York. He's going to be joined with the 44 of Sean Rogers out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Ryan Samuelson out of Westminster, Maryland, is going to start inside row number 4. He's going to be joined with 29 of Tanner Marty. Brandon Edstrom inside row number 5. He's going to be joined with Big Bob Nestor out of Pensacola. I'm sorry, it's JC Gibson. There's Bob out of Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And go ahead, Matt, take us over.
Starting 11th in the 11 machine, JC Gibson, rolling off 12th. You know who that man is, the 12, Kavaja Holt.
Sorry.
Thank you, Tony.
Got that.
Starting 13th. Our HMFIC this evening, the 10 of Chris Claude. 14th tonight, that's going to be John Crow Sr. piloting that 95. 15th belongs to the Prodigy Esports TRD machine of Jeremy Miller in the 30. Look for him to come towards the front quick and in a hurry. Outside row, P16 in the 16 belongs to Alex Princeton in that number 19 machine. 17th, SRM's own Emily Urias in that Ford Mustang. 18th, Cody Colley starting in that 18th position, the 56 cars as always. Look for him to come to the front. In 19th position, Timothy Cook. Getting a good look at that Camaro, like the paint scheme on that car tonight as well. Mm-hmm. He rolls off 19th. And 20th, Lorne Jones, Joe Gibbs Racing, the 11 machine. Look for him also.
Got to quicken up, Matt.
That momentum. You got it, Tony. Let's see here. 21st, Alex Glenner. 22nd, Dave Regal. 23rd, Seba Cornez. The 24 of Aaron Mack. Thank you, Tony. Need a thank you, sir. 7, something does not look right here.
Rich Jett, Steve Herring, John Wilco, and
Thank
Ken
you.
Ron as the field works its way into the 3-4 complex. Geico restart zone is in effect. Carl Dodson, the first Chevy to lead us to a green flag on the initial hit this season. It's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn because it's time to get it on at the Monster Mile. Race fans, it's showtime!
Oh, showtime it is as we are underway here from Dover, Delaware. The 69 working the top side of the racetrack. He's going to carry the momentum. He's going to take that machine, that 69, all the way to the lead. RJ Root, Nick Stein in the 02. He's going to follow. That puts your pole sitter Dodson all the way back to third. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Toyota's 1-2 out in front. Carl Dodson now falls back to third, but has stabilized as we all are ready. Starting to see that pressure dial up. Here comes the 21 of Crayborg working towards the bottom. He is feeling frisky here off the start of the races. He's working tight on the inside. He's going to have the momentum. He's going to take the spot. It looks like he's going to bring that 81 of Ryan Samuelson along with him, Tony.
They are, but take a look at what Joe Stafford is doing on that top shelf. He's ripping that lane that I was talking about earlier, or he was ripping that lane with Cranborg looking to his inside, and he was able to defend so easily against the 21. That's what we're going to see all night here at Dover. That second lane is, if they get a little bit more rubber laid down up there, that second lane is going to rip the lip so easily. As Cranborg just banged the wall coming off the floor.
One up there, and he made some contact with that Toyota. Miles the Monster claims his first snack on the evening. Nope, but hey, these composite bodies, they're tough. These cars can certainly take a little bit of abuse. Look at this, pushing the 67 up the racetrack. One there at Cryborg really wants that position. But the 57, Joe Stafford, not giving up on the top shelf there, as he's able to carry a little more momentum off the corner, keep the 21 pinned down, as they're still side by side out there dogfighting.
Told it so.
Called it.
That second lane, you can carry so much more momentum around here, and it's something that we see at the plate tracks as well. You know, that second lane, you're not binding the suspension up as much. You know, with the solid axle car, you were relying a lot on the track bar to get this car to rotate, and you can see that Stafford now, he's on a run. He's starting to swallow up Sean Rogers, your highest running Ford.
Yeah, Stafford is on a tear, just going towards the front like a rocket. But that 57 is working the hard side, or supposedly the hard way to get around here. But Tony has other philosophy. We're seeing that actually come to fruition right now, is the 57 now continues to blister the competition. The 21 said, hey, he's out of something. I'm going to see if I can do this too.
Up into third.
Up into third. On the top side of the racetrack, the longer way around this facility, and these cars lower on power, Tony. So even though you don't have that WAP coming out of these corners, you're able to carry more momentum, keep the car wound up a little bit more, and it's making a difference right now, especially for that 57 of Joe Stafford. And look at this, Cryborg and others now giving it a shot, and it's working for him. I mean, he is literally in the podium position in third place, just behind Nick Stein and your leader, Raymond Root, in no time.
And I want you to mark this date down on your calendar, folks, and give me a hashtag Tony was right for once in the live chat, because I'm not normally right, but I know Dover. I've probably turned the third most laps ever in a simulator at this facility. First would be Watkins Glen. Second would be Irwindale, because I used to run a league that Irwindale was a weekly thing for us. And then, you know, we come here to Dover. I always loved this facility. You know, there's a good handful of tracks that I just love to throw a car around. This is one of them, and I figured it out I used to run with a league that used to run track and car combinations that really had no business being together. So there were so many different cars that I would try here, and I found out that in anything that doesn't have wings, and when I say that, open wheel and wings, that second lane where Kryborg is right now, what's good for the goose is good for the gander on Joe Stafford. You know, any track that isn't open wheel and has wings on it, that second lane is where you want to be.
Well, Tony, you're making a believer out of me. Now, again, these guys here in this series, they have custom setups. They're not running just the stock iRacing setup, so certainly
Neither
they
are
have
we.
more control. Exactly, that's my point. Me, however, when I raced this track, I had the old default. Maybe that's part of it, maybe it's not. But the other thing, Tony, track temp north of the century mark here, we're at 108 degrees. That also could be helping that second line be as fast as it is right now as well.
Oh, it absolutely is, because of all the rubber that's laid down on the low side, because of guys that don't have someone next to them, they're not being pinched down on corner exit. That's the other reason why that outside lane is able to rip the lip. You're able to pinch that car down. They're down in the greasy stuff. It becomes more difficult the hotter this track temperature is. Now, that's not the worst we've seen. I saw 140 earlier this week. But, still 108 degrees, triple-digit track temperatures on this concrete mile. The low side, you've got to be able to let the car run off the corner, or else you're just going to... Yep, there it goes. Battle for the lead is Stein looking to make a move on Root. Root lets him go.
Stein time to the front in the 0-2, and you're right, Alex. Root definitely said, go ahead and lead, buddy. But as he did that, had to back off. I don't think Kryborg was ready for it there in the 21, as he got up in the back of Root just a little bit, but certainly a moment there for those two drivers. Is now Stein is the man carrying the torch here, king of the concrete, as we're already 18 laps into this one. Going back to some side-by-side racing, look no further than the 44 in the 57. Joe Safford and Sean Rogers. Rogers rocking the bottom. Joe Safford, he's back to the top shelf where he seems to find where Mama hides the cookies, as Tony always likes to say.
Hey Matt, I don't mean to interrupt, but take a look at the brands that are in the top 5 right now.
I did not want to go there, Tony. Yes, I see that.
and look who's clawing his way up towards his teammates.
Yep, right on time.
One of your two biggest movers in a Toyota. That is the 30 of Jeremy Miller. It currently sits +7. We saw
Miller time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tony.
It's absolutely Miller time, which we saw him have issues in qualifying. Got the car a little bit sideways on lap 1. May have flat spotted those tires. Still persevered. 16th quick. Looking to the inside of Stafford. And not the Toyotas have, again, got it figured out. Stafford might be going, okay, I've already figured out that, yes, I can use that top lane. But, now I got to save my tires. As Stafford continuing to fall back as Tanner Marty now looks to his inside.
Yeah, Stafford now going the wrong direction. Did he overheat or cook those Goodyears there in the early going? Possibly now as he starts to fall back in the clutches now of multiple cars, including now the 27 of J.C. Gibson in another Toyota, by the way. He's going to complete the pass. He has the position. He has the advantage. He has the spot going into turns 3 and 4. As the 57 now slides all the way back to 11th. That's 8 back from where he started in the 57. But, Tony, you have a long time. You have a long race. Don't panic. Make some adjustments on the car. Keep yourself clean. And you have plenty of time to rebound here. But certainly the early going, not as that 57 planned. Looking there at the Sean Rogers in that 44 machine. He is right where he started, Tony, in that sixth place position, just outside the top 5, knocking on the back door of Ryan Samuelson. in that 81 machine, who's really started to put some nice races together, Tony.
He is. Samuelson is starting to have the finishes that are indicative of how he's been running. But I just wanted to point out, Sean Rogers is your highest running non-Toyota. And he's not that far off of that lead group of 5. Yes, they're starting to pull just ever so slightly. He's starting to claw it back, but they're keeping right around, from Samuelson to Rogers, right around 0.3 of a second. So he's hanging with those Toyotas, and that's something good to see. And take a look at your 7th place car. That would be the pride of Milton, Florida. That's Carl Dodson, your pole sitter, -6, but still having a solid run in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, he's still having a solid run, Tony, and I think he may be on the long game ball here. As you're looking at the lap times, Carl Dodson very competitive with those Toyotas. 23.78 was his last lap. Your leader at 23.73. So he is right there with them. Perhaps that is strategy by Carl Dodson in that Camaro. You know, a lot of different strategies how you attack this racetrack, Tony. Comers and goers, the accordion effect. We're going to see that. We've already seen that with some big movers like Jeremy Miller. We expect him to do that, but again, well, that's what the data says, and that's how it goes. Miller up, 5 spots. He's inside the top 10 now.
Starting to go in the wrong direction, though, is both Tanner Marty and J.C. Gibson feeling a little bit froggy right now. But take a look at the front of this field. It's a 2-car runaway so far, as they put a 2.5 on Travis Cranborg right now, as it's R.J. Root and Nick Stein just walking the field.
I mean, you know what we're going to say. I mean, who would you expect it to be up there? Of course, you expect to see R.J. Root when he's not just getting dealt a horrible hand on the racetrack and having to repair his race car every caution flag. He's going to be out front or close to it. That's exactly where that man is right now. And why not behind him? Nick Stein in the 02 machine, another fierce competitor, knows how to get around this racetrack. A veteran driver in a bad, fast race car. You know Nick Stein's going to be up there as well. And Tony, look at the lap times they're turning. I mean, 23.82, 23.81. Everyone else is in the 24-second bracket except for Carl Dodson in 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. But, here's the thing. R.J. Root hasn't led a lot of laps the past couple of weeks. He couldn't get anywhere near, he couldn't even get a whiff of the front at Martinsville. And anytime he got close to the front at Talladega last week, something just happened to Kavaja Holt. What happened?
You're not kidding. Very slow there on the bottom.
What happened to the double-lot buckshot Toyota, Ford Mustang? Tricia's hope on that car. Gotta give Kavaja cred.
Oh!
Just sideways off of 4. He didn't hit a thing!
That's amazing!
How did he do that?
Wow. What an impressive save by the 00. Watch this. Go on board. You hear the bump down to the corner. The car's right on the verge here. You're going to see it pop off here. There he goes. Keeps it off the inside wall. Now you're supposed to come up and mac the outside. Doesn't do that. Spins it back down and locks it down, Tony. That doesn't happen. Very impressive driving.
And heads-up driving for the guys behind him. Holy crap on a cracker. That was entertaining.
I still can't believe what I just witnessed out there on the racetrack. I mean,
I'm going to give Kavaja Holt save of the night so far.
Save of the race by far is that 00 continues to move forward and race on with 0 damage on that Ford Mustang. You certainly don't see that. And believe me, Miles the Monster probably not happy about that at all as one slips away. We go back to the front, the 69 in the 02. Out here now by over
3.5 seconds.
Deficit, 3.5 seconds, Tony. I mean, these guys are just cooking.
That's because Edstrom and Cranborg were fighting it out for a little bit there. They're letting those leaders just walk away. Now Edstrom looking to get back on the podium for the second week in a row. And what a race we saw last week at Talladega. Edstrom had an amazing run. And our little sister from another mister working on the backside of Joe Stafford right now. That's Emily Urias in the 6th. Currently sits +5. As here comes Alex Princeton to her inside.
Tight battle here on the racetrack, Tony, just outside the top 10. Emily Urias, the 19 is going to get by both of them there. Alex Princeton, but Emily is going to complete the pass and move forward. She's having a good run so far in that Mustang, like you said, up 6 spots, just outside the top 10. Alex Princeton now in 10th. Great running by her here in the early going. A couple surprises, though, Tony, here early in this one. We've seen the pole, but I think maybe sometimes what do you do in racing, Tony? You sacrifice pole speed for race performance, and maybe that's what these Toyotas did. Is the 69 and the 02 are lights out on the racetrack. Even pulling away still from the 74 and the 21.
Well, let's get back to our biggest mover right now. Currently sitting in 15th after starting almost shotgun on the field. That's the 77 of Rich Jett. Jett took last week off and was not at Dega, but definitely on a good run. By the way, do you know what it says on the hood of his car? If we can get our high-speed drone operator to give us a view of that. You know what that says on the hood?
It looks like some kanji, perhaps, or...
That says Godzilla in Japanese.
Okay, so I was on the right track. I did not know that was Godzilla.
It
Godzilla Motor Oil, got it.
No.
I'm making a joke. Too.
Yeah, no. Anyways, as he's now working on Joe Stafford, putting him +11 into the top 15. As we're going to check back in up here, as we've got a gaggle of just angry wolves right now going after each other. As the 29 of Marty, J.C. Gibson, Ryan Samuelson, have gotten by Jeremy Miller. Miller's struggling here at the Monster Mile. And that's not something you see every day.
No, it's not. Usually that 30 is just on a laser, charges hard to the front and stays there. But, Tony, this is one of these racetracks that can throw a curveball at you. You think you got it figured out as he's going past SRM's Dave Regal in that 8 machine right there. You think you have it figured out, but this track is so temperature sensitive. You can go in there that first run, think you're not overdriving the race car, and it's not until you go to turn in the corner and you feel the back step out, you go, uh-oh, and there's nothing you can do about it until you get that first pit stop underneath your belt and put new Goodyears on it. Well, that could be what's going on here, perhaps.
Here's the other thing to consider, too, is that wind, currently at 4 miles an hour, it's been gusting up to 12. And it's a direct crosswind. As soon as you clear the turn 2 grandstand, before you get to the covered grandstand in the backstretch, you get that cross breeze, and it can wreak havoc. But it's got the entire inside of the track to affect turn 4 as well. And that's really what we're seeing tonight, is when that wind gusts, that's where guys have been having problems in turn 4. As we've got a slugfest up there. It looks like the 89 getting up and out of the way. That's going to be Steve Herring.
Big wiggle. Big wiggle from the 21, not to cut you off, Tony.
Oh, yeah. Because he's down in that greasy stuff as the track temperature continues to rise. Just a little after 1 o'clock in sim time. Cranborg into the inside wall.
I believe what just happened. The 21, the cyborg, the man that's robotic on the racetrack, has a rare mistake and pummels it into the inside wall in that Toyota. That was some pretty good contact there, Tony. You can see that car wobbling, wiggling. He could be trying to shake it out, or he could have some bent components on that machine. As we go back to the replay, watch this.
He's sideways off of 4. And we're going to go to the blimp view just to make sure we get this. Actually, get to the chopper. And you can see the wiggle and just slight contact with the 27 of Gibson. And, you know, that was just one of them racing deals. And Kranborg's got that car right on the ragged edge to begin with. Just the slightest contact in the right front. Just the front washed out, and down the track he went quick in a hurry.
Yeah, in that situation, Tony, when that car is loaded up like that right on the edge, you could literally, like you said, the wind or slight contact just pushing on that car, and it made it look like it was out of control as it went hard into the wall. Looks like he has things stabilized here as he's now fallen back quite a bit here in that 21 machine. But again,
and
those Toyotas,
Samuelson going in the wrong direction too.
Yeah, I think this track here is catching some of these drivers here by surprise, which Miles Monster typically does here. But you're right, we have cars that typically go towards the front very quick, fast, and in a hurry. Some of these guys go in the wrong way, but everyone's going to have to make pit stops here, Tony, as we're already working lap 52 of 400.
I didn't catch where the stage break was tonight.
We're coming up on it, I can assure you of that.
Oh, I gathered that. I didn't know if you knew off the top of your head. Let me see if I can find it.
Can you hear
the peanut is neither a pea nor a nut. Discuss.
Well, Tony's looking there for the stage break information. The 19 of Princeton, he continues to be on a roll there in that 19 machine. He's going towards the front. Alex Princeton up 10 spots from where he started, inside the top 10, knocking on the back door of the top 5, that position is currently occupied by Carl Dodson in that Chevrolet in that 5th place position, your pole sitter this evening.
Absolutely. Bear with me. I'm still trying to find where the stages are going to be.
Everyone's still being able to run the bottom of the racetrack or at least it seems like they can do it with ease, which I think is pretty impressive given that track temp. And now that we're really starting to get some wear into these Goodyear Eagles, lap 56. And like Tony was telling everyone earlier, this track is a cheese grater. It'll literally make dirt track racing. You have the berm. This track here will literally pile rubber up on the outside of the racetrack. Later on in the race, you get pushed up in there, you're going to know it because that car is going to get bad out of shape. And that's because this racetrack is so abrasive, just chewing the rubber off those tires.
If I had to venture a guess, I'm going to say somewhere in the 90s is where we're going to see the stage caution. Because I cannot find that information at all. As we're watching the battle between Chris Claude and Lauren Jones, this is for 13th and 14th. Claude has it. Jones wants it. Miller's gone pit side.
Miller in the 30 to pit road. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an unscheduled stop for that TRD machine. And you said it on the track, Tony, just the car is just not in the track how Miller wants it. He's coming down, getting an adjustment, putting some fresh tires out there on that car, going to get back up to speed, and hopefully it starts going in the right direction for him. But very rarely do you see these TRD machines out here in the field make an unscheduled pit stop because that's how good they have been. Again, the difference maker at times, Dover, the Monster Mile, right here, live in prime time. How about Dave Regal?
Oh, Chris Claude with problems. Claude with big problems. Big shunt coming off of 4. As that drops him to 15th now.
As I was just going to say before, he was having a great run, staying out of trouble, right there outside the top 10.
Edstrom's in the pits. And Lauren Jones is slow.
You're not kidding. He is slow. In the 11.
Something happened to Jones.
Did he almost pinball and save it? Is that a possibility here, Tony?
Well, let's find out.
Rocking the bottom. Oh, he's going to hit the apron there.
No, he's trying to get to pit road and miss.
Oh.
Luckily, he avoided those water barrels because that's a sure death if you hit those. Rogers, Princeton, Cranborg, Edstrom, Colley, and Wilco all on pit road now. Claude on pit road, Steve Herring. So it looks like the first stage you're going to have to pit. And if you could hit your space bar for me for a quick second, how many sets of tires are these guys getting tonight?
In my opinion, not enough. They're only getting 5 sets of tires.
Oh, wow.
5 sets of tires here tonight, Tony. I'm not, well, hey, you know what? Some of the best in iRacing run in this series, and if anyone can do it, these guys can. But talk about turning up the pressure just a little bit with limited sets of sticker tires in these pits here tonight.
RJ Root has to get to pit road quickly. Everybody else that was near him has already put the fresh shoes on. Now, granted, they're 2 and sometimes 3 laps down, but everybody that was running near him, they're on the fresh tires now. They're going to be turning the fast laps again. And you take a look at the tire fall off, you're looking at about a second and a half.
Yeah, second and a half, that's a lot on the racetrack. A car with fresh stickers go by that 69 like they got 300 more horsepower. And Tony, I knew they couldn't go, 90 plus laps. I mean, my league race here, I was screaming for tires at lap 50. 55 was about the edge for me to hold on to it. So, yeah, first round of pit stops there underway, and it came quick, fast, and in a hurry. Since the first car came down pit road, everyone soon followed after, a big factor indicating just how treacherous this track is, eating away at those good years like you predicted.
As Joe Stafford looking to get one of his 3 laps back off of RJ Root. Stafford is on the fresh shoes, pressure of the 2. He's also going to work the 49 at Tim Cook. Cook going to let him go. Now RJ Root finally brings the lead car to pit lane.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see. Once he gets this service completed on the race car, back up to speed, how much time he lost on the racetrack.
It's going to be a good question, as right now, of the cars that have pit, that man in the 74, that is Brandon Edstrom, is going to be your effective race leader by quite a margin over Sean Rogers.
Yeah, Edstrom, I believe, is one of the first guys to come down pit road, if I remember correctly, in that sequence, in that TRD machine. Out there on the fresh rubber, you're going to be able to run significantly faster, and that's going to give him a nice little barrier between himself and the second place competitor. Once these pit stops, the sequence completes here. See him going there.
Never bet against RJ Root.
Never, ever. I mean, look what we watched him do at Martinsville there, Tony.
Well,
I mean,
he stayed effective race lead. He's back up into 3rd, working the backside of Nick Stein. As Stein spent 5 minutes on pit road, and we missed it. I do apologize, folks. But Stein having big issues after leading a couple laps early. RJ Root over a second and a half to the good over Edstrom, who's got 2 1/4 on Sean Rogers, your highest running non-Toyota, who's going to be effective 3rd place once Cook and Nestor both pit, because we're still waiting on the 49 of Tim Cook and the 63 of Bob Nestor to both come down pit road, as they're getting the most out of these tanks. Oh, hang on to her, Bob. Oh,
we got a car sideways, and Stein is sideways on the racetrack. Caution is out.
And there are a ton of guys that just got trapped a lap down.
And Sometimes that's the gamble you're looking for if you're the 49 of Timothy Cook and you snooker the entire field. But my God, what happened to Nick Stein?
Well, let's find out. Bob Nestor's going to bang the wall. Little sideways, chases it up the track. Net code. And I'm willing to put money on it. Because let's get to the chopper. Watch the purple car at the top of your screen, folks.
The 63, not the one beside the 02, is coming in the screen now. There he is on the top.
No, they did actually make contact.
Very light contact, but I thought you were right, Tony. I didn't think they touched from that other camera angle either. And just like that, Nick Stein,
that was a hip check
here. Oh.
Now,
and how about Timothy Cook though? He goes up there, he gambles the dice, he goes Las Vegas, and he catches a lot of drivers a lap down. He looks like a genius right at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely is. Now he's starting to fall as RJ Root going to inherit the lead back. Bob Nestor is going to come out in second. Now, Nestor still has to come down for his service. I'm surprised he didn't come down that last time by. Unless he wants to go towards the back. I don't know. The good news is for Cook, there's a lot of wave around cars. So Cook is only going to fall to 8th. Nestor's going to replace him if he comes down pit road this time.
Right, and Nestor is the guy that knocked the wall there that started off the chain of that last caution flag.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nestor's coming down this time, as is the 82.
So the 63 and Nestor down pit road. The 82, that's going to be piloted by
Alex Gangler.
Gangler, thank you. In that 82 machine, currently being scored in 21st position. And Tony, just like you said, going to have a ton of wave around cars here. That brings RJ Root to the point in the 69 machine. And before this unfolded, when I said, remember what he did at Martinsville, and I know he wasn't leading at Martinsville, but watching what he did.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't give up. He didn't quit. Looked like he was out there running laps on the inner track. He wasn't doing that.
No, that was Craneboard.
Back down. Thank you.
That was Craneboard that was doing that.
We've both seen them both do that a lot this season.
Oh, yeah.
And even when they're not on fire, they don't give up and they don't quit. And then when these guys are on, I mean, you take all of that and then you give them a car that's perfect. I mean, you better hold on.
Good luck.
Exactly. And that's what you're seeing right now. 69 time. King of the Hill at Dover. Brandon Estrom, I mean, he's having a solid run so far too, up 7 spots. Great to see a blue oval up there, Tony, in that 44, piloted by Sean Rogers. Carrying the torch for Ford and the other manufacturers, as you got to go all the way back to 6. The man with the hand in Las Vegas, the 49 of Timothy Cook.
Rocking the National Guard paint scheme on that ride. As there go all the wave around cars. J.C. Gibson, Bob Nestor, Alex Princeton, Cody Cawley, Carl Dodson, Joe Stafford, all getting put up there.
Yes, lights are out on the pace car. Re-racking, restacking this deck as we're about to uncork these boys and girls here from Delaware. Monster, of course, or Miles the Monster. He's claimed a couple early on. Let's see if that trend continues or if we can continue these long green flag runs. 75 laps in the books. First stage will be the next break here, but before we get there, we got to turn these boys back loose, being led by RJ Root himself. It's 69 time at the front, the 74 of Edstrom on the outside front row. Coming through the turns, 3-4 complex. Green flag back in the air. The 69 is going to hammer the loud pedal. Look at the restart by the 69. Little bump draft action up top from Kryborg in the 74 of Estrom, as he is now door-to-door with the 44 of Sean Rockin' Rogers. He is not giving up. He's going to take it 3 wide for the leader. Thought about it. He's going to lift and give the spot back to the 69.
Crap.
And caution back out on the racetrack after a very exciting restart. Tony, what happened here?
Dave Regal and J.C. Gibson had a meeting of the minds from what it looks like. There's Regal. There's Gibson right behind him in the 29. Or, sorry, the 27. 3 wide, 4 wide, does not work.
I can't believe what I just seen there, Tony.
Let's watch that again.
To make sure I got that right. I mean, he's just out there doing Mr. Rogers type things on a Sunday drive. He's not putting any pressure on no one. He's just riding. 29 underneath him at 27. 89 up in front of him, checks up. And the ghost car. Did I see that correctly? Did someone blink out and take out Regal in the process?
Yes, the car that was on the bottom side.
I can't believe it.
Watch the left side of your screen, folks.
The 27's going to go ghost.
No, it's not the 27. Oh, no, it's the 62 came from behind. Why do I not have a 62? I don't even have a 62.
John Wilco.
Was that Wilco? Oh, yeah, it was. So watch the start Wilco's going to get. Doesn't get it going, but he's going to carry the speed up through the gears. He's 2 wide, and what happened to the 89? Let's figure that one out as soon as I can find the 89. Steve Herring. So what happened to him?
I don't think he got going well on.
Goes wide. Instead of asking for an EOL from race control, he just decides to go wide and go slow. That's a dick move at a place like Dover.
It's not a great heads-up move, especially when the racing surface, I mean, it's not Fontana, not even close. And on a restart, everyone's stacked up. Now you got to slow the car to the top side when everyone's doing everything they can to get up to speed. What happens? You check everyone up, you light the fuse, and then it has to all go somewhere, and it all blew up right in Dave Regal's face. As we're back under caution again here at Dover International Speedway, the 74.
I said what I said, and I mean every word of it. That was a dick move.
Hey, Tony, your opinion is your opinion, and I back you up, and I love you to death either way, man. I support you 100%, brother. As the 74 there of Brandon Estrom, the 69, R.J. Root. They are your effective leaders right now. Travis Treyborg running out your top 3 podium spots as they run right now. All 3 of those are Toyotas. Sean Rogers, again, having a great run in that Ford, the first Ford in the running order in the 44, up 2 positions. Jeremy Miller in the 30. I see you after he had a horrible first 50, 60 laps of the race going the wrong way. He is now rebounded 10 spots up inside the top 5. Tanner Marty, Alex Princeton, Joe Safford, Bob Nestor, and Cody Colley in that Chevrolet round out your top 10.
And then you got Carl Dodson, Rich Jett, and Tim Cook rounding out your lead lap cars. We were asking for a shout out for Brandon Edstrom, Pride of Springfield, Vermont. There he is, your leader, and going to lead us back to green. Again, Geico Restart Zone is in effect. He's got a teammate to his outside, a teammate behind him, 2 teammates directly behind him. Make that 3, 4. Oh boy.
They have the
5 Toyotas lined up stem to stern on the inside lane.
The Iron Curtain is back, exactly. So the 44 is going to find himself in the hornet's nest in the trenches, as he's got a lot of TRD Power East Prodigy Sports to contend with up there. But he's doing a hell of a job so far in the early stages of this one as we're working lap number 80. What do you say we turn these boys and girls back loose, Tony, here at the Monster Mile one more time?
Oh, boy.
Come back in the restart zone, already bumping and grinding. The 21 is going to give a shot to the 74. Help him get the go-go juice flowing and shoots him out to the lead. Brendan Estrom to the point. Great teamwork there. Time restart by Crayborg in the 21. That's going to knock RJ Root back to third. Sean Rogers in the 44 in fourth. And look who is charging on the bottom. Miller tied in the 30. You knew it was only a matter of time for him to get that thing going the right way, and it is going the right way in a hurry, Tony.
Well, we got problems going on towards the front of this piece. Cody Colley is suffering from the blinkies right now. And if you're Ryan Samuelson in the 81, it's got to be unnerving. And same thing goes for Alex Princeton in the 19 behind him. You got to be sweating bullets right now. So here comes Dodson. Princeton slams the door on him as they're all trying to figure out how to get around that Superflow Camaro of Colley. Colley, one of your three biggest movers at plus 10. Jeremy Miller currently sits plus 10. Rich Jett plus 13. Just knocking on the back door as, oh boy.
Somebody was beating the bumper.
Yeah, that'd be these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch who it was, but I mean, it looked like they were fused into one car on the racetrack, and that was scary looking, but everything seems to be okay right now. Wow, big power play by the 53. Look at him send it in the corner. Dodson set that up halfway down the back straightaway.
Well, here's the thing about Dodson that I've realized. He's got a short run car. He was hoping for a lot of cautions here. He's not getting them. As we went the better part of 60 laps without a caution in the early going. Now we've had a couple back-to-back, but to the point, battle for third. That's Craneborg and Rogers door-to-door. Rogers on the low side, Craneborg on the top shelf. And here comes Joe Stafford as well, looking to the inside of Miller.
Where did he come from? With Miller, the 57, Joe Stafford back up in the mix now, just outside the top 5 in that 57. So here come the early leaders from this race that qualified well, coming back to the front as we got a slugfest up here near the front. Tony, check this out. The 44, Rogers rocking the bottom. Travis Crayborg in the 21 and almost 3 wide behind Miller.
3 wide behind Miller as Carl Dodson got sent up the track there. Now he's working the inside of Stafford, trying to get 6th away from him, door to door, down the front chute. And there's the lap car of Emily Urias. She's currently in the free pass position. First car 1 or more laps down back in 14th.
Yeah, she's in the free pass position, but she's in anything but a safe spot on the racetrack. And she is in the middle of the dogfight right now in that 6th, trying to hold on to be the first car 1 lap down should disaster strike on the racetrack. And look at Dodson in this 53. I mean, you ain't kidding. He's got a short run car. It's like someone put nitromethane in that fuel cell when he went down pit road, because that thing has just lit on this racetrack. He is flying to the front in that 53 and being aggressive with it. That's a man that knows how to get around here, have a lot of confidence, and it is fun to watch. But one wrong move, Tony, and it goes wrong badly. But Dodson is on a tear right now as he's trying to get it done on the high side around Miller.
That he is. Miller not really having a good defense, as now he's working on Craneborg. Dodson in 4, make that 3rd. RJ Root battles back, going to pinch him up to the top side. Craneborg thinks about making it 3 wide, thinks better of it. As now Dodson able to wrestle 3rd away from Root. That's letting Sean Rogers in the 4 get away in 2nd.
Dodson activates God mode in that Camaro and just sends it to the front.
Stage break is coming, boys.
Stage break is coming, and Dodson wants the stage win. Does he have time to get it done? Well, he's already up to second. He's got one more car in his sights, and that is the 74 of Edstrom, and Dodson is there, Tony.
A little 20-lap shootout here. As Dodson was last, it was one of the last ones down pit road. He came down on lap 77 to get some damage repair, and repair they did is your pole sitter back to the point.
What is going on? What an incredible drive by Dodson.
How about Rogers? We're talking about Dodson, Sean Rogers in a Ford running in third.
Oh, we should be oogling over both of these guys right now, and you're
Absolutely.
right. Sean Rogers, what the heck? I mean, amazing, fantastic, electrifying. And the only reason why I wasn't is because, I mean, Dodson just, pulling stuff out of a scripted sci-fi movie right now on the racetrack, and Sean Rogers right with him. Great to see. Oh, that Superflow almost got into it there with the 81. Samuelson, it's getting really tight. Emily Urias in the thick of it, too.
Ryan Samuelson, unfortunately, has gotten by her. She's working the outside of Siva Cornez now. That is a battle for position for 15. And, taking a look at the last couple of spots inside the top 10. That is Tanner Marty, Joe Stafford, and Cody Colley just throwing haymakers at each other right now.
Haymakers, rainmakers, pastries, anything they can throw at each other right now to get a position and advantage on the racetrack.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Oh!
Emily just slammed the door on Siva Cornez coming off the two. That's going to leave a mark. Slammed the door.
That was probably the hardest door slam I ever seen.
And they're all working around Joe Stafford. Three wide.
Oh my.
Luckily, Emily had it spotted. That's going to let Princeton get by her. Princeton has the final spot inside the top 10. Bob Nestor's a couple cars back from him.
Crossover out of Urias going after the 19.
Good grief.
I mean, can you tell the stage break is coming?
No, not at all.
He just got into it there with the 19. Light contact there. Little friendly competition, giving each other high fives at 160 miles an hour.
Well, here we go. Battle for third as Sean Rogers is about to get freight trained by two Toyotas.
As we've seen them do a time or two here over the course of this season. But Rogers, hey, man, that man is hanging tough, has a bad fast race car in that Ford Mustang. Looking at the lap times, he's right there with the best of the field.
Okay, white flag is in the air, I believe.
White flag is in the air, Tony.
This should be the stage caution at the end of this lap. As soon as the top 10 cross.
I mean, that's why it looks like the end of the All-Star race out there right now, because everyone wants those points, wants the stage win, and they have dialed the excitometer through the atmosphere right now here, closing out this first stage. It has been electrifying. As Dodson said, see you later, I'm out.
Apparently we're wrong.
Checked out. Well,
why don't you, can you jump up to...
That's where I'm going, Tony.
Yeah.
I got you, brother.
Thank you. Joe Gibbs Racing to talk to Chris Claude and find out when the stage break is going to be, so that way we don't... I stop looking like as much of an idiot as I normally am. Meanwhile, Dodson, Root, Craneborg, Edstrom, Rogers, your top 5, and then your full 3/4 of a second back to that man in the 30 who's got some clean air. He's starting to reel in the Ford of Rogers. That is Jeremy Miller. Connolly Chevy not too far behind him. And then you're back to Tanner Marty and Alex Princeton. Those two are slugging it out for 8th. And Joe Stafford just lost 10th place to Bob Nestor. Nestor up into points paying for the bonus on lap 104. Can he hold it? As now RJ Root has caught Dodson. those tires starting to fall off as now Root and Craneboard make it look just that easy. Dodson going to try to follow him. The question is, did the 53 go too hard too soon? The answer, yes. Especially if you take a look at our lap time history. You know, compare Dodson to everybody in front of him. And yeah, he's lost a half a second just in about 4 laps. And now he's got to worry about Brandon Edstrom behind him.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And I believe that's the caution. No, it's not. John Crow Sr., wrong way on a one-way street. What happened to the 95? Is he working the inside of Stafford, trying to pick him off? Down on the low side, does have the clear. Wiggle coming off of 4, and around she goes. Just a light graze on that inside wall. Shades of Jimmy Johnson a few years ago. And just like that, we are back under yellow.
As we're back under yellow, I spoke with Chris himself, Tony. Lap 120 is going to be stage 1.
Sounds good.
And we're going to lap 250 for stage 2. Oh, as the 95 comes up and backdoors what was that?
I have no idea.
I was going to say, big thanks to Chris Claude. I felt horrible jumping in there, disrupting his race flow as he graciously gave me the information we were looking for.
Let's
so
go
shout out
back
to him.
and take a look at that one.
Yeah, what was that about?
I'm not entirely certain. This is what the eye in the sky picked up. Great work by the boys in the chopper.
Yeah, Jimmy Eggenfelder, one heck of a pilot up there. And oh my goodness, I mean, he just came up and
he just hit the 62.
He said, I'm taking your lunch money and I'm going to give you a rough week at school.
And because, I mean, John Wilco, I find it funny as all get out that he's got Epcot on the back of that car, and there are National Guard members stopping people from going to Disneyland. Or Disney World, I'm sorry.
Oh, Tony, you definitely have a point there. As now we're back under caution once again.
Let's step away and pay a couple of bills. What do you say?
Yeah, let's pay some bills and we'll let things shake out here. We'll keep everyone connected, though they won't miss anything.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back at Dover. The lights go out on the pace car. Carl Dodson, Bob Nestor, both electing to stay out as the PRE boys deciding to play a little bit of pit strategery and come down just prior to the stage break to get some fresh shoes.
Yeah, and if you've seen the 53 or Nestor the last time on fresh shoes, it is exciting as he just drove a line up through everybody on his way to the front. Top side, low side, middle, didn't matter.
But now he's on the old stuff.
But now he's on the old stuff. You got 69 time, the Cyborg on the new stuff. It's going to be a little dicey here in Harry. I worry about this restart, everyone being checked up, coming into a stage break. This could be very dicey, intense moments here for the two guys on the front row as that pace car comes off. Look at in the restart zone. Don't want to spin the tires here. Great restart by the 53 and 63. But here comes R.J. Root in the 21, dialing up the business on the back of those old Goodyears. They're going to drop down low. They're going to target the 53. The 53 is going to smartly go up the racetrack. And here come the flying Toyotas. No, the 53 comes down and puts the block on. How does the 53 have this kind of speed? He comes up, hits the wall. RJ looking for the bottom of the racetrack. He is there. He is now should be able to make the pass and clear the 53. He does. And here comes the toe of the other cars, along with the 44, Sean Rogers and Travis Triborg. That was one heck of an effort by the 53, but new tires to the front.
Rogers using the 63 as a pick to get by Cranborg. Cranborg not a happy camper, as we are about 7 laps left in this stage. You heard Matt say before we went to break that lap 120 is when the first stage is going to happen. And right now, Sean Rogers in a fight for second place. Cranborg goes to the bottom. Rogers trying to maintain the top shelf. And Cranborg's not going to be denied. He's going to get the spot. And he's looking to bring Edstrom with him.
And slowly but surely he is. He's going to clear the 44, and here comes Edstrom. Oh, Edstrom comes back in line and cycles in behind the 44 of Sean Rogers.
I don't think he had a choice.
I don't either.
Rogers was getting down there whether Edstrom wanted him to or not. And that basically, Sean Rogers says, I'm going to put my car here. If we crash, it's on you. Shades of Ayrton Senna.
Tony, your racing knowledge always never disappoints. Some more of it right there. Here we go. Back to it. The 74 Stein. He's got it turned down on the burn mode, and there he goes. The 44 and the 30 of Miller trying to thread the needle as well. Oh, Miller, big wheel coming off the corner there. It's going to cost him a little momentum getting into the corner. Look who slams the door. Rogers.
Sean Rogers.
Because he knows if that door is left open, he paints him going into the corner, trying to just muff him up the racetrack. Miller, you got to be careful with that, buddy, because, Tony, we've seen it before this race. You breathe on a car, and it's gone.
Oh!
They touch, they door slam, they wreck each other. Oh, my God.
Holy crap on a cracker, what did I just watch?
It's Rockin' Rogers and Miller time just set off a nuke and destroyed both of those race cars. Is the door slam, lights the fuse, and we go old school at Dover. It is insane.
Well, there's the tap from Miller going into one. Taps him again, taps him again.
Yeah,
Rogers is not a happy camper at this point. Goes down and just says, hey, don't be a dick.
Wow!
And takes the front end off both cars.
Hello, Matt Kenseth at the end there. But
Rogers is out of control right now. He just threw that car into reverse at full speed.
Yeah.
Let's go on board. This is what Rogers saw. Watch the wheel on the backstretch, folks. There's the tap. There's the other tap. Not a happy camper. And just boom. Sends it left, and both cars into the wall. And then full speed into reverse. And that causes the other crash that we didn't see of Carl Dobson and Tim Cook.
I mean, that was, for some reason, that reminded me of the 1979 Daytona 500 with the crash on the last lap. They collide. They get collected to the top sidewall.
Between Kelly Yarborough and Donnie Allison.
The fight, correct. And oh my goodness, the 53 got dumped.
He absolutely did. Tim Cook just sent him.
I would just say that everyone was playing very nice this race. They were given and taken of course, things got hot near the end of the stage, and then all of a sudden, we had some massive beef go down.
170 miles an hour is not a place where you want to settle a beef with your car.
No.
You do it at a place like Martinsville, maybe Bristol. You know, a track where we're doing maybe 110 or 120 in the corners.
Yeah, that was a nasty, violent impact there. But still, I mean, even after the door check there, and both cars are still alive, are in this race. A second retaliation, as hard as difficult as it is, you have to be able to look at the bigger picture. And that's not what happened, is both cars got shut off a Scud missile launcher into that outside wall. And a turn of events here that I can't believe that I just witnessed is that just came out of nowhere, Tony.
Well, Sean Rogers has left the building. Jeremy Miller is still on pit road and has been for the last almost 3 minutes now. I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say right now. As Tim Cook and Carl Dodson both trying to pit farm those cars. Just barely beating the pace car off pit road. Oh,
I know what to say here, Tony. I mean, my mind is perplexed as well. I'm just kind of shell-shocked here.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Charlie Tango?
Gotcha.
10-4, sir. But one thing I do know what to say is, how about that 69 car? RJ Root has kept it clean. Hey, but that car is clean. He is typically bad, F-A-S-T fast, and that's exactly what he has been. And now he is in the lead.
But he is also in trouble because plus 17, Rich Jett is back into the top 10 for the first time tonight.
Hello, 77. Up 17 spots. That's what's up. Rich Jett having a good run here in that 8th place position. That last altercation on the racetrack, that's going to really shake things up here as we get ready to mix it up at 180 miles an hour here from the Monster Mile. That pace car pulls off. RJ's got the button, and he punches the hammer. Gets a great restart here coming up through the gearbox. The 74 is going to go to work right off the rip. Try to make work of the 21 on the low side, but Kryborg tough on the top side as it's a drag race going down into 3.
Absolutely, as that might possibly have been the stage break.
Lap 120 is the stage break.
Well, then that was our stage break, or stage caution, as it happened within 5 laps.
Out.
No, it happened within 5 laps of the scheduled one. So
yeah, correct. I see.
There you go.
Saying,
next one is what, 240?
250.
250.
Lap 250.
And you're right, Matt. I don't think they gave these guys enough tires for tonight.
Now, sometimes we've seen it where, and I've seen it being in these races where what the telemetry, the graphics show you isn't always what they are given in the event. Hopefully that's the case. But
what it says in the iRacing info is 99.9% of the time correct.
No, I agree with you, Tony. I'm hoping here just for.
I'm hoping too that they didn't just go. Here's 5 sets. Like, wait,
look at this.
What? The 56 was looking a little froggy there, thought better of it as Edstrom slammed the door on him. Now here comes Tanner Marty.
Tanner time coming to the front, 29.
Wow!
I see you how I said,
Cody Colley goes to the top shelf and trying to make something happen, trying to break up that Toyota conglomerate at the front of this piece. Up into third, looking for second now as he's to the outside of Cranborg. Cranborg looks to the inside of Root going into one.
It's 3 wide. It's 3 plus almost a 3 wide battle for the lead up front. The 21 cycles up to the front. Look at the 50. Oh, the 6 tried to shoot the gap. The Superflow has gone supersonic here at Dover. Now up to P2. Does he keep carrying the momentum on the high side? No, he turns it to the bottom. Cryborg to the top. The 56 sends it into the corner. Look at him rotate. Look at him hook. And he gets off the corner. Power move by the Superflow Chevrolet. Hello, Cody Colley.
Colley to the front for the first time tonight. The pride of Walton, Kentucky. As now R.J. Root all over the back bumper of Travis Cranborg.
Man, these guys can really dial it up when they want to, it seems, at times. And that's just so impressive. Oh, I mean, look at the 69. I mean, you want to talk about letting someone know you're there? I don't think you can read Camry out the camera of that out of that 21 machine. Is now the 74 feeling spicy, rocking the top of Edstrom.
Aww. Goes to the inside just as I went to that camera.
Sometimes it's a magic and sometimes it's tragic, Tony, with that camera shot. And sometimes it seems like they know what we're doing, too. Believe me, I've been in that position. But
yeah.
Nonetheless, great camera work tonight, as always, as the 69 and 21 continue to square off here for that second position.
Well, they're slugging it out behind him as Tanner Marty continues to backslide. Here comes Joe Stafford to his inside, bringing Princeton and Emily Urias with him. Urias still a lap down, but right now she's in the free pass position.
Yeah, see, she is in the pass for cash or pass for the free pass, which will get you the cash later on in the run. But awesome job driving there by that 6 machine. SRM's own Emily Urias. Feeling spicy in that Ford Mustang, having a heated battle there with the 63 machine. I believe that is going to be the Bob Nestor, who's also having a great run in 10th place position, holding on right where he started, but nonetheless solid in the field. But look at the pressure Emily is trying to dial up on the back of that 63 machine, is now she's going to get picked initially there by the 19, but turns it to the bottom and continues to charge into that 63 of Nestor as she has really turned up the pressure. She wants that position.
She has a bad fast Ford. The only thing is she got caught a lap down under that green flag pit stop deal. And she's been battling to try to get that lap back. Currently sits in the free pass position. But she's got to stay ahead of Seba Cornez, who is the next car for position, a lap or more down. Emily currently sitting 1 lap down, but your leader has checked out to the tune of 2 seconds as that battle for second rages on. RJ Root, Travis Cranborg, Rich Jett, Brandon Edstrom, and Carl Dodson. So 2nd through 6, just throw a blanket over those guys.
Yeah, and Dodson still in this race. And remember, the big show was kind of overshadowed what happened to Dodson there at the end of that stage. But here he comes. No damage, no problem for Dodson. And remember, as that guy lit a rocket booster before that all unfolded and rocketed to the front. And then Cody Colley in a Chevrolet essentially does the same thing and is now 2 seconds out in another zip code in front of these Toyotas. These Camaros are spicy right now here in the thick of it at Dover. It is mayhem. It is entertaining. It is electric up front. Watching these guys and girls do battle here under the lights in prime time, even though we're afternoon, of course, on the racetrack. But either way, this has been everything you'd want to see in a premier race right here on Sunday night. As the 21 at Kryborg, the 77 Rich Jet on the top shelf. He's coming to the front as well.
Well, now, Matt, if you want the good news, the track temperature has dropped about 4 degrees since the last time we checked it. It just got into 112 as Jet up into third, bangs the wall off of 4. Kreinberg still on that bottom. And he's got Carl Dodson all over him. Dodson doing a little two-tap Terry on that one.
Remember what happened the last time there was a two-tap Terry?
Yeah, 2 cars ended up in the wall. But the thing is, Kranborg, he's a smart enough driver. That kid has been driving quarter midgets. He's used to getting hit in the rear. Because if you ever get a chance, go to your local quarter midget track and watch those kids. They beat the hell out of the front bumper and back bumper of those cars week in and week out. So he's used to catching, you know, a couple of taps in the back bumper and not losing his cool about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much common racecraft out there in that type of race, and you're absolutely right, Tony. But the 53 Dodson, when he has a car that he can really get up there and race with, I mean, this man is possessed in that race car. Oh, look.
Rich Jet caught the apron. And that car immediately shot up the track.
I thought it was Dunzo. I mean, that is such an abrupt change there, Tony. From the banking to the flat of that inside groove there.
Well,
when you come off the racing surface, I'm surprised that car didn't just shoot straight into the wall.
Well, here's the thing. You got to credit Travis Kranborg as well for not getting into Jet. Because that would have been so easy for him to just finish Jet off.
It would, and it's almost like your car gets an e-brake or a parachute pulled on it when it bottoms out like that as it scrubs off a lot of speed.
Well, it takes the front end away, and, you know, how he caught it, I don't know, but still not the save of the night. That still belongs to the the 00 Kavacha hole.
Once
saw
in a
that one
lifetime
earlier.
save. I mean, even Miles was shaking his head on that one. He couldn't figure it out. He haven't looked at the instant replay.
Uh-oh. Emily Urias caught on the high side. Steven Cornez to her inside. That is the That's the fight for the final pass to get the free pass.
Yeah, that's the fight for your right to party on the lead lap battle. You're not wrong there, Tony. As all of a sudden, Emily is going the wrong way on the racetrack. She seems she's going to be able to settle in right here behind the 02 is Stein. So Siba Kinez now is the main contender for that free pass spot. She's there. She's within striking distance. See if she can let this car maybe perhaps cool her tires down, reset, make another charge here. But still, nonetheless, having a great drive tonight in that 6 machine. As we watch now the 29, Tanner Marty going back to the front.
Tanner Marty, a lead lap car, was fighting it out with Steve Cornez, but back up towards the front. This is your battle for 5th. 6th starting to heat up as Samuelson working on Edstrom right now. Samuelson been quietly clawing his way back up. But the question is, does anybody have anything right now for that 77 of Jet? As he is plus 21, currently sitting in 4th place. You can throw a blanket over 4th through 7th.
Yeah, what did they do? Execute Order 72 in the Chevrolet camp on that pit stop? Because now all of a sudden, you got 3 Chevrolets inside the top 5. You got the 56 of Cody Colley, who is just checked out in another zip code in the Superflow machine. Dodson, who is back on the afterburner again, even after the damage, is running right with the Superflow machine, who just went Mach 3 by everybody coming up to the front. Now you have 2 Chevrolets to the point. You have RJ Root, the fastest Toyota, and then you got Rick Jet. Where did he come from? In the 77, looking like Superman.
Well, not so much anymore as those Toyotas are starting to freight train him. And it looks like Samuelson's going to give him a little bit of a reprieve. This Jet just dropped 3. And
Jet,
please
even
tell
the-
me that was not Dave Regal texting me while driving again.
That's what, Dave, he likes to really dice it up and make it interesting. But even before Jet dropped 3 spots, I mean, that man was on a mission. I mean, you typically don't see that big of a performance jump from, Rich Jet. He's been getting some momentum rolling here as of recent, but still up 18 positions.
Bangs the wall.
I'm going to stop talking about
Tanner Marty and Bob Nestor going after each other. Marty looking to bring Steve Cornez with him.
And Cornez does follow through with the 29 machine. They're moving to the front as well, working together, or at least seems like they're working together. And just off of the 29 machine, you have, don't look now, but that is Bob Nestor in the 63 making a comeback towards the front as well.
Just outside the top 10.
Nice recovery.
But right now, as we get into a pretty decent sized run, this field's starting to get a little bit strung out. Closest battle right now is going to be this one, a lap down for 15th between John Crow Sr. and Chris Claude. There we see Claude in the Dinsane number 10. And let me just double check my trading paints. Everybody's car is about to lose their paint scheme, folks, because I want to make sure I'm showing the right paint scheme, because I got yelled at for this last week. Apparently, Chris changed his scheme.
Yep, so we're going to heat on the side of caution there. We're going to do a quick refresh. We're going to white out the racetrack here.
Everybody's going to lose their paint scheme and then gain their paint scheme back, as whether or not it's the same paint scheme, that's going to yet to be decided.
It's the quickest way to change your complete look of your race car.
Still in Disane.
Oh, and he hits the wall. Chris caught a piece of the wall coming out of the corner. Just slipped up the track.
And that's that wind gusting to 12 miles an hour that I was talking about. It just shoved Chris up the track on corner exit, and that's going to let Lauren Jones get to his backside. Jones is a lap in front, so that's not for position. However, that... What the hell? Nope, Nestor is a lap ahead as well. As Joe Stafford and Rich Jet and Alex Princeton starting to heat things up.
Yeah, they certainly are. That 19 seemed to have a good car all race long so far. It's been stable and moving towards the front. And Tony, I heard you say,
Cody Colley is in trouble, as that is Travis Cranborg, your points leader, and Brandon Edstrom working on him right now. That Superflow Chevy may have gone too hard, too soon, too early.
Too hard, too soon, too early, perhaps? Did he burn out the rocket booster in that car?
The short answer is yes.
Contact with the wall? Did he?
No, he's just struggling right now.
But even so, showing these Toyotas at the front of the field that he could walk away from them,
ain't scared.
Along with the 53 of Dodson, who's still in the lead, by the way. They need something. They need momentum, something to feed off of. And yeah, you're right, Tony, that he's fallen to the back right now. But they went out there and they just torched those Toyotas. Yeah, you can argue, well, if the run goes long, great. But you know what? If you got to beat them, you first have to be faster than them at some point in time of the race. And they at least have that going for them. That's a step in the right direction. Which
tells me if we get a late race caution and end up with like a 10-lap shootout, the bow ties are coming, and they're coming quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Correct.
As Ken Ron bails out to go down pit side, as Prince and now Tanner Marty get by Joe Stafford. They're going to bring Steve Cornez with them.
Yeah, it always seems like when these tires get older, Tanner time starts to come into the limelight in that Chevrolet in the 29.
He just gives up too much in the early going, though.
He gives up a lot in the early going, and that's, you know what, Tony, to be fair, that's a problem that I have as well. And I do it because I know I can't run dollar for dollar on fresh tires with these guys, the ones that I compete with. So I save my tires and then hope that helps equalize things. Sometimes it works, but you're right. You give up so much. By the time you make anything back, you're often mainly only 1 or 2 spots to the good, and then you got to go through that whole process all over again. You're right.
Open set or fixed set league?
Fixed.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I
guys that-
might be able to help you with that.
Well, you said Irwindale may fix all, so we'll see.
Oh, it absolutely can. If you can figure out Irwindale, you can figure out any other track out there. But right now, field more strung out than a methadone clinic is. I'm seeing a second or greater for most of the field. Closest battle on track is this one for 7th between Princeton and Marty. And you can see how big of a gap that one is. So with that, we're going to step away, pay a couple bills. We'll be back right after this.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
And we are back at Dover for round number 11 of the SNN Cup Series. I'm Tony Spasso. He's Matt Metler. Thank you so much for making this part of your Sunday evening. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up. It lets us know that you like what you're seeing on your screen. And if you don't like what you're seeing, hit the thumbs down button twice to make sure you got it. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media. As Matt, we got racing 7 nights a week. Can you believe that?
Oh, I can't believe it. I know it. Now, stole the words out of my mouth, Tony. Super Tuesday, I like to call it that, right on SRM, just around the corner. 5 or 6 broadcasts in that night alone. But you're absolutely right. We got high-flying, high-octane racing action just like you're watching right now, as Tony was telling you.
We've got 4 just tomorrow night.
Just tomorrow night.
4.
On a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. Come home to SRM, the home of SNN, and all the other great series that we have underneath our umbrella. And we're so thankful for all of our partners, all of our series partners. As the 10 of Chris Claude here, looks like he's heading towards pit road, Tony.
Looks like you're just coming off of pit road.
Or coming off pit road, I'm sorry.
Using a little bit of pit strategery there. Joe Stafford brings it pit side. Now, with the stage break being at lap 250, these guys are going to run out of tires well before they get to lap 400.
That's why I'm saying something. I think there was a error in that category that I was looking at. It's 400 laps on 5 sets of tires. That's an awful lot of ask, even for those 17-inch Goodyears on this next-gen race car.
Oh, absolutely is. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything that might tip us as to what's going on here.
I'm searching as well, and while we're due to watch Dodson in that Chevrolet, who decided to go supersonic, literally like an F-14 in Maverick. He throttled up and he took off and went to the front of the field, and he has stayed there. Now remember, the Superflow machine as well was rocking fast, but he has fallen off. But the 53 remains stout and strong deep into the run as Dodson continues to lead, followed by Raymond R.J. Root, Travis Krayborg in the 21. Brandon Estrom has now climbed all the way to fourth, cracked the top 5, and Tanner Marty continues to push towards the front as those tires go bad. And Alex Princeton, Timothy Cook, Ryan Samuelson, and the 14, Asiba Cornez. That's the top 9. Rounding out the top 10, up 8 spots, Cody Colley in that 56 machine. As we're now working lap 190 of 400 right here from Dover, Delaware.
Can I have you jump back up to Joe Gibbs for a second?
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
ask. Because, whoa, Dodson almost gets into the barriers trying to make it to pit road.
Dodson dodged a bullet.
He absolutely did. Is RJ Root going to take the lead back over as he's working around the lap car of Ziba Cornez to put him another lap down? Good grief.
Just when you think everything is good, it's not. As we've seen a couple times here at Dover, all the types of tricks this place likes to throw at you, especially when you're not anticipating it. And he had one heck of a moment getting into pit road there. He remained under green. That's going to cycle RJ Root to the front.
And Stafford's going to get one of his laps back the hard way. But Matt, if I can have you jump up and find out exactly how many tire sets these guys do have. Because if they're only laying 4 in the pits, they're not going to have enough tires to get them through 400 laps.
You know, let me check another spot here, Tony. Before I do that, I hate to bother the 10.
I've already pulled out every trick I can figure out to try to find how many.
Tony, we got 9 sets of tires tonight. 9 sets of Goodyear Eagles.
And how did we find this out?
It's a secret. If I told you, then...
Hey, don't threaten me with a good time.
I'll
talk to you after the race about that statement.
I'm just messing with you, Tony. Oh, RJ Root!
RJ Root hits hits the water barrels.
Oh my God! Are you serious right now?
Self-inflicted wounds for the 69. Oh no!
That man never, ever wrecks himself. And has a bizarre. What is going on with pit road? This is a couple cars in a row, Tony.
Well, let's watch this again. As we're gonna watch the barrels on your right-hand side. RJ Root is coming up on him, and tries to just bang, tear him off him.
Real time, Old Faithful,
like playing bumper pool.
I mean, that was inches from just smoking that entire race car.
Down and away in 15 seconds, so not a ton of damage on the 69. He's not even gonna, he is gonna lose the lead. Ryan Samuelson, though, we haven't talked a lot about Ryan, to the point, out of Westminster, Maryland. And Ryan, no, you're not my sister's favorite driver anymore. That belongs to Kavaja Holt after the save he had earlier. But once this all shakes out, Carl Dodson is still going to have the race lead.
And we know how he is on fresh tires. So I mean, this is just crazy what is unfolded and transpired here in Delaware, in the Mid-Atlantic. Incredible. These two Chevrolets all of a sudden just go nuclear. Dodson gets involved in part of a wreck there. Thought his car was pretty used up. He lights the afterburner again.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
What? Was that another one of the tire barrels?
Samuelson! Blast that tire barrier, the water barrels. Watch this. Coming into 3 and 4 now. Tries to get it slowed down. Too little, too late. Can't. And bonk. rips the nose off the car.
And we got water barrels attacking race cars here at Dover. And you're right, rips the whole front.
How is
clip.
that not a caution?
You would think it should be.
Should have been.
But
Especially
then,
with
you know,
Samuelson driving his best imitation of a pavement modified. Again, I'm going to ask the question, how is that not a caution?
And no, for the love of God, no one say that was an ARCA break, because that shouldn't have even happened on the racetrack. As you can see, the 81 there clearly wounded big time. We're going to come on board. We're going to show you this at speed. Great. I love the logic, Tony. Watch this. Just, oh.
And completely destroys the 77 Rich Jet.
Smokes the 77 Rich Jet. Now,
And
I'm not
Jet
sure why.
gets it down onto the grass and then
And locks it down.
completely just toes back to the pits.
Locks it down.
Absolutely.
Great racing decision, veteran move there.
Jesus.
But after the incident with the water barrels, no caution. Why does the 81 go to the top of the racetrack, all the way up top?
Apparently he was trying to get a caution.
Well, was he trying to get a caution or completely trying to get out of the way?
Well, then you stay low at that point.
Right. Or did that disrupt his orientation after hitting those barrels so bad? He thought he was doing a good thing and then realized at the very end that's not where he wanted to be. And the 77 just massacres him on the racetrack.
It was either that or Ryan Samuelson could not steer that car.
Or that's the other thing. He had
Let's find out.
a Bluetooth suspension, as you like to say.
We're on board with Samuelson right now. Now, at this point, he's the race leader. And he's starting to grab gears to get that car to pit road. Plays bumper pool.
You see him sitting there checking for traffic. He's going to wait for it to clear.
Uh-oh. Okay, yeah, no, that car does steer.
It's steering right there. Well, let's stay with it here. Still steering. He's still steering.
Oh, no, the car's not steering.
No steering.
There was no steering, and that's what happened. So, sorry, Ryan, but yeah, no, I mean, when he was going slow, he had steering. As soon as he got a little bit of speed in the car, forget it. That front end just right up the track it went. Ryan had absolutely no control, and that's why that happened.
Well, that's exactly why I went down that rabbit hole, because I know there's no way that Samuelson would make that type of an error on the racetrack unless that just rang his bell so hard when that happened. And Tony,
yeah, but I don't think he's in a full motion sim though. So,
I mean, even myself though, when something like that happens to me on a racetrack, if I make a mistake like that, I'm so mad and aggravated at myself that I kind of forget almost at times where I am on the racetrack. And I haven't done that, but I've done something similar. Anyways, great job on your part, always finding out or getting us the answers that we seek. And Bluetooth suspension, he could not help it. Very unfortunate, but the race has to go on as Carl Dodson continues to take it to the house. Close in proximity suit, you got the 3 Toyotas. You got Raymond Root, RJ in the 69, Travis Kryborg in the 21, and you guessed it, Estrom in the 74. Positions 2, 3, 4 on the racetrack. Then guess what, Tony? 2 more Chevrolets up 13 spots. Cody Colley in the 56. And Tanner Marty continues to climb the fence, slowly but surely, now up to 6th.
Now up to 6th, but 6th is the last car on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, there is Tanner Marty, your final car on the lead lap, as he's working through some other lap cars. But you take a look at the gap between Tanner Marty and Carl Dodson. 20.6 seconds when Dodson's turning 23.5s for lap times.
It's incredible. I've never seen cars just take off like that.
However,
in my life.
RJ Root's turning 23 fours.
Yeah, RJ is in the proximity of those race cars, no doubt about it.
As a matter of fact, he can see Carl right now. Matter of fact, that is Carl right in front of him.
And you know there's no quitting that kid. We know that.
Oh, yeah. Same
And
thing
you
goes
think-
for our points leader, who's currently sitting in third, looking to stretch that points lead as big as he can get it before the family goes on a summer vacation, so he can afford to miss a week. He's already there. Just why not pad the number? His mom checking in the live chat. Always good to have you with us.
You got to have support when you race, right? And why not family members? I would love it if my mom got on there and cheered for me when I was racing. So big shout out to his mom for always having his back, supporting him, cheering him on each and every week as he goes out here with some of the best in iRacing and does very well against them in that 21 machine. Currently in third, solidly inside the top 5, but that 53 at Dotson still continues to carry the torch, but Raymond Root continues, I believe, to run him down, or is that interval going back the other way, Tony?
That interval is coming back to RJ Root as, checking in with Kayla Mayer in the live chat. She is rooting for the 53 right now. 56. I apologize for that one. I had the wrong car. Cody Colley. There is the Superflow Chevy of Colley. Currently, one of your two biggest movers at plus 13. The only other big mover is back in 14th at plus 14, and that's the GoPro 33 of Ken Ron, another Chevy. So the Chevys are clawing their way towards the front of this piece.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and I have to wonder if Cody Colley has another afterburner left in that race car, because when he lit the wick the last time, that was intense. That was impressive.
Had that thing
in
up
that Superflow machine.
I absolutely. Very impressive drive out of Colley tonight. We haven't seen a lot of him this season, unfortunately, but one of the drivers out there that every week he's got to race his way in, as he does not have the what do they call it there? The
provisional?
No, the you buy the thing for the season and your car.
Oh, you're talking new school, the charter.
Yeah, the charter. He doesn't have a charter, so he has to race his way in every week. And the last 4 weeks have been very, very tumultuous.
Yeah, basically what Tony's saying is just because that 56 machine shows up here at the racetrack does not guarantee him a spot in the field. That man has to go up there in qualifying and basically win himself a race in qualifying to just make the field to start this grid. And if you don't, and you go home, all that time, effort, money spent for nothing. And that's how much is on the line for Cody Colley every time he attempts to make the field here at SNN, as right now as it stands. But what a way to do so, and look what he's doing with the opportunity, solidly in fifth, and at times electric on the racetrack.
Absolutely amazing run for Colley right now. Now, another one of the drivers who has to race their way in and week out has already put it up on the hauler, and I'm about to go look to see if I can find that driver still in the Discord. And, of course, she's disappeared. That, of course, is SRM's own Emily Urias. Another one that doesn't have a charter has to race their way in. And I'll tell you right now, she was completely heartbroken that she could not race at Daytona.
Yeah, she certainly was. I know that was a personal circle on her calendar. Was really looking forward to that race.
Tim Cook just plastered that wall.
I think that even jarred Cook that the car shot up the racetrack like that there and got a piece of it.
Yeah, but look who's right behind him. That is your race leader, Carl Dodson.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of cars racing for
front.
position.
Oh my God.
That could have ended poorly.
Dodson was almost dodging for his life.
He absolutely was.
Almost exploded right in front of the leader. Oh.
And
What have we
unfortunately,
seen in this race, Tony?
and unfortunately, during that mess, Cody Colley goes a lap down. So now Tanner Marty in 5th is your last car on the lead lap. But this is what Tanner Marty's seeing out of his rearview mirror. That's your race leader right behind him.
That's scary. That is scary stuff right there. I mean, we're just past halfway, and we have, did you say 4 cars on the lead lap? Just making sure I heard you right. 5 cars.
Tanner Marty in 5th is the final car currently on the lead lap.
That is, you just don't see that hardly anymore in modern day racing.
No, you absolutely don't, especially at a place like Dover.
No, absolutely not. Tony, like you were saying at the beginning of the show, talking about the success and the dominance of Prodigy Esports, if you want to catch them, you're going to have to work harder than they have. And tonight, either the stars have perfectly aligned and all the planets are in sequence, and the 53 and the 56 have been given superhero-like powers in those race cars. Or they have...
Same thing with the 29.
Exactly. But the problem is, now you got 2 more cars that are bad fast, like the 69, the 21, like Prodigy Esports is every week, and they are just mowing the competition down because they are just that much faster on the racetrack. And they've done this in 230 laps, and it's incredible.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it goes back to, mentioning Prodigy Esports. You take a look at the championship run that the Lakers had, the consecutive championships. And then you go back and take a look at the consecutive championships that the Chicago Bulls had. And then you go back and take a look at the consecutive championships, the Lakers and the Celtics were always there, year in and year out. And you take a look at the stars of those teams. You take a look at your Kobe Bryant, your Michael Jordan, your Magic Johnson, and your Larry Bird. What separates those guys from a regular basketball player that coach says practices at 2? They're there at like 10 a.m., running steps, getting warmed up, and then they're shooting for hours, putting themselves in position, making moves to an invisible person for 3 or 4 hours before the rest of the team shows up to start the workout. Then they do the team workout, and then they stay another 2 to 3 hours after shooting, running drills, having somebody from the team just throw up bricks so they can practice rebounding or whatever. They're working their tails off to make sure that they're their best in their craft. And that's what that whole team from Prodigy Esports does week in and week out. And apparently Carl Dodson did his homework here at Dover.
No, I certainly don't want to use this to take away any of the buzz that team has built, because they certainly have earned it. And you hear the tone, and you hear the message, and you hear the teachings throughout each one of those drivers as we interview them each and every week. And they are, without shadow of a doubt, 100% all in and dedicated to being the best team in this series, without question.
They lead the team championship. Let me pull that standing up on my screen so I get this right, because I believe the team standing is also Prodigy Esports. 1,199 points. Field Filler Motorsports, which is a subsidiary of Prodigy Esports, 958. Four Wide Motorsports, which is another subsidiary of Prodigy Esports, 802. Joe Gibbs Racing, another subsidiary of Prodigy Esports, 617. And then the first team of Chevy, Smoked Out Racing, 608 points.
That is a big differential in number, Tony. That is huge.
Yeah.
Well, like they said, at one point, all roads lead to Rome. It sounds like all teams lead to Prodigy Esports or are affiliated with Prodigy Esports.
And if they're not, they want to be.
They want to be, because they have been on the outside looking in a big way. And I know that outside of wherever Carl Dodson and the 56 of Cody Colley finish this race, this is huge for the Chevrolets, and it's also huge for the Fords because it shows
that the Toyotas can be beat.
They can be beat, exactly.
Well, here's the thing. If you take a look at all 10 races, official races that we've run, and even add the Duel 1 and Duel 2, so 12 races that have been run already between Prodigy Esports and Field Filler Motorsports, which they're all in the same team chat every week.
I find that team name funny, Field Filler.
Yeah, well, it's because officially they can't be on Prodigy, but those teams are communicating.
Correct.
You have 10 wins, 30 top fives, and 34 top tens.
One word comes to mind.
Just domination. In 10 races. Just in 10 races. 10 wins, 30 top fives.
Can't argue with numbers. The numbers
no, you
don't
absolutely
lie.
Can't.
That is incredible, remarkable.
It's insane.
You don't see that in modern racing. You don't see 5 cars on the lead lap in modern racing with only 244 laps in the book. And we've had cautions in this race. It isn't like it's been caution free.
And look at this. We're only 6 laps till the stage break.
Right, we still got to go one more stage. Could we potentially see a race in modern era racing in a next gen car where we potentially have
we did earlier in the season, the top 3 at the end of the race. That was it. I forget which race it was, but it was earlier this season. Let me look at the schedule.
Oh, someone slideways. Someone's all sorts of out of shape.
That was the 89. The 89 sliding up the track to get up and out of the way. Got into the marbles to Steve Herring. Good save there. Did pancake the wall, though. And so I'm bringing the schedule up.
That may have been the race that I missed. But still, I mean, those are far few and in between, Tony.
It was Vegas.
Yeah, I was not with you. I don't think I'm... That's right, I wasn't there. I was looking forward to that track, too. But still, I mean, that's how hard Prodigy Esports pushes you.
No, I'm sorry, Circuit of the Americas. So road course, yeah, that's kind of understandable.
Yeah, that race was awesome. That was a great battle there at the end, if you guys recall. If you were with us on the broadcast, that was an awesome race. These guys put on a heck of a performance there. But like I was saying, so this is what happens if you put the seat time in and you're able to contend with them, let alone get a car out there that just runs wild and is faster than they are at a given point in time of a race. they're just laying the smack down. I can't think of any way else to say it. I mean, 5 cars on the lead lap. That just blows my mind saying that, but that's exactly what's happening out
Something
here.
happened to Bob Nestor.
Bob in the 63 machine. He's up top.
Maybe he was the one you saw slipping and sliding around. Yes, he
There
was. That's
someone
exactly who it
pointing bad out
was.
of shape.
Yeah, it was Nestor trying to get to pit road.
Yeah, the drift night. There you go. The 63 there.
Oi!
Holy cow!
And hits the Armco. But as we go back live, here comes the stage caution.
It's stage number 2 about to be in the books.
There
Caution
it is.
flag is now out. Stage 2 dub goes to Carl Dodson.
Craneboard of Root, Edstrom, Marty, Princeton, Colley, Stafford, Cook, and Cornez rounding out your top 10. And with that, we are going to step away and pay a couple of bills.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen One Lawn Care. Preen One does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen One delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen One, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we are back at Dover. As you saw, Lauren Jones having some trouble getting off pit road. Your stage winner, Carl Dodson, and RJ Root both got popped for speeding onto pit road. As here comes Edstrom to the inside of Craneboard for the lead. Almost contact. They get that one sorted back out. Tanner Marty's up into third, but look, don't look now. But with 6 cars on the lead lap, here comes Root one more time.
Yeah, here comes Root one more time. And in the words of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you can't give it away now like that to the Prodigy Esports guys making a crucial mistake on pit road. As good as these guys are,
that's the second self-inflicted wound tonight from RJ Root.
You know what? I'm not sure. There's something about this track. It is just giving drivers fits tonight. I mean, we got the water barrels jumping out, attacking race cars here on the racetrack. We have just bizarre things happening. I mean, it's entertaining as it is.
Did they move Friday the 13th to a Sunday?
That's what I'm thinking, Tony. There's an extra element in the air tonight that we haven't seen yet on SNN. And oh, look where Dodson is, by the way.
Fourth, making a bid for third as he looks to the inside of Tanner Marty going into 3. Marty slams the door on him. And look who's in the rocking chair right now. That is Joe Stafford, currently the owner of the free pass position. And Stafford's in 7th.
Stafford's in 7th. Another Chevrolet. Eligible for the free pass if it was to happen right now on the racetrack. I was interested to see if the 53 of Carl Dodson was put in a position, if he got behind those TRD Prodigy Esports Toyotas, if he was able to get back by him again. Well, we're about to find out. Here we go. We hit the afterburner on the outside.
Short answer is yes.
That is just, how do you do that?
Shit.
Where does that come from?
Passed first, second, and third in one corner.
I mean, it's like that car's got 1,000 horsepower and everyone else has got 700.
It's like taking a super late model to a street stock race.
I mean, it's like you're out there playing Mario Kart and you run over the mushroom that just turbocharges your go-kart.
Yeah, exactly.
That is just incredible. It's like he has another gear in that car no one has. It just, I don't believe it. Dodson has got something cooking in that 53. Now I'm wondering, is the Superflow car going to do the same thing? We're going to have to see if they do it again.
Well, Colley's a lap down right now.
Well, I guess he could, if it works for him as well, I mean, he could put himself in the last car a lap down in the free pass position, but does not look like to be the case, as he does not have the warp drive dialed up in that 56 on this restart. But the 53 sure as heck did. I mean, he just checked out.
Well, Colley keeps trying to drive that low lane, whereas Dodson's not afraid to go up to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. And catch the spanking for it.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what the 56 did. The first time he hit that supersonic afterburner, he just set sail on the outside. Maybe the track's different. I don't know, but
well, let's take a look at the current conditions. Track temperature's cooled off almost another 8 degrees.
Yes, it's now right at the century mark.
Just a little after 3 o'clock in sim time.
So the track temp is down a little bit. The sun's still hitting it, but just not at the direct angle it was earlier.
Well, it's partly cloudy skies now, where earlier it was sunny.
That'll change it. Your wind, Tony's all about the invisible assassin on the racetrack that you can't see, and that is at 8 miles per hour.
Starting to gust again. As right now, Edstrom makes a bid for a second, looks to the inside of Craneboard. Craneboard going to go to the top side to defend, gets the better drive off, able to carry that more momentum and starts to walk away from Edstrom, Cranborg may have picked something up there that he just might have just figured this track out.
It is. I know sometimes people at home are sitting there and say, "Tony, what do you mean figured something out?" And as crazy as it sounds, sometimes these drivers will just find one little thing, and that one little thing will make it look like what that 53 did with Carl Dodson. And it does happen, and that's exactly what Tony's referring to. He may have just found a little extra grip on the racetrack, maybe trailing the brake at a certain spot in the corner, letting it roll through a certain part. Little things like that can have a big impact sometimes. Everyone's going to work right now trying to figure out the secret recipe to keep pace with Carl Dodson.
And look
in
who's
that
on the
Chevrolet.
top side.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Cue the Kool-Aid man crashing through the wall.
I want to see if the Superflow... I can't remember his name. Cody Golly. Let's see if he just sets it on a rail on the top shelf here.
And look what RJ Root is doing, too.
Oh, well, everyone's going with him now. RJ Root's up there. The 57 of Marty's up there. Or the 29. The 57, Joe Stafford. But nonetheless, I mean, they are coming to the front. This is insane. This is absolutely nuts.
Meanwhile, while these guys are slugging it out, Cranborg is out to a 2 1/4 to the good.
Yeah, that 21 just in front of this epic battle right around that 4th place position. The 29, Tanner Marty on the bottom. The 02 is Stein, wants the top. He's trying to set a laser on the top as well. He is successful along with Marty. I'm sorry, the 57 machine of Joe Safford he's on the back door on that 69 route. It's not delivery, it's Joe Safford, and he wants that position.
The only difference is Stafford's a lap down.
Oh, that's...
Stafford's in the free pass position.
Stafford's in the free pass position, and you wouldn't even think that. By modern racing, you wouldn't even think, look at that.
Well, it's Joe Stafford. You wouldn't expect him to be a lap down at this point in the race.
I mean, especially not in P7, but that's the actuality. But still,
and
that
the reason why we've only got 6 cars on the lead lap is just prior to the stage break coming out for stage 1, we had over half the field caught a lap down.
Right, with the Hail Mary Las Vegas edition set by Timothy Cook in the 49.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly.
And then Carl Dodson has just set a pace during second segment.
I mean, he's gone.
Oh, yeah. 1.7 seconds is the gap. As a matter of fact, that's Dodson up there with the 82 of Alex Gangler, who just came off pit road. And Gangler's doing everything he can to try to stay with Dodson, and isn't, with 10-lap pressure tires.
I mean, to put this into perspective, Tony, you remember that All-Star race when Sam Hornish Jr. had that skewed out drift car set up in it, where the car was skewed way out in the back for the All-Star race?
Yes.
If this was an actual race, there would be inspectors crawling all over that car after the race, if not in the pit box, trying to figure out anything they can on why that car is so wickedly fast in competition.
After this race was over, they would hand the 53 team back a box of parts and say, "Here you go, you can run next week." Just a box of parts to put back on the trailer. That's
how big of a deal this is right now. This is huge.
Especially with what we've come to expect out of that Prodigy Esports team. The fact that Carl Dodson, in his first start of the season with the Cup Series, is eating everybody's lunch and punching them in the gut for their ice cream. this is wild.
Just like watching 2011 when Trevor Bayne won the Daytona 500.
Yeah, there you go.
Put it in context. And I even hate to say it, but for the first time, it almost looks like Prodigy Esports does not have an answer.
Well, Dodson burned his stuff up a little too soon in the early going. I think he learned that lesson, and he's not pushing the car quite as hard. Now, you take a look at what Kranborg and Edstrom are trying to do. They're running 23.6s. Dodson, you know what? Let's go back to Dodson here. Lap time history.
He's slowing down a little bit.
23.7, 23.8, 23.7, 23.7, 23.8. That's where he's keeping that car. And then we go back to Kranborg.
23.57.
Last time by, and this time 23.6. So Kranborg's turned the wick up. Now he has chipped into that lead that Dodson has, but he's not. Kranborg's up and down, whereas Dodson is staying within half a tenth of his best lap. 23.6 last time by. What's this lap look like?
Let's see, 23.68.
So, in response, Dodson's turned the wick up ever so slightly. And you compare lap times, he's starting to pull on Kranborg again.
Right, and that's the beauty when you're able to shoot out with a lead like that. You can dial it back. You don't have to run that hard, and you can save and manage your equipment. You can save those tires, because while everyone else is going turn and burn trying to catch you, they're using up all of the sticky in those Goodyear Eagles to keep it simple, while you're sitting there and you're in management mode or in eco mode. And every time, like you said, Tony, that Kranborg gets into a position where Dodson isn't comfortable with, he runs just enough, a little bit harder to get that safety barrier back, and then levels back out.
23.5 or 6.5 for Dodson, 26 or 23.67 for Kranborg last time by. You know, perfect example of that, as Root has his hands full right now with excuse me, that's a lap car behind him. Never mind.
I was going to say at first, who was dialing up on Root, but nope, that's the 82. Who's not on the lead pace here, at least right now at this point of the run, 288, written in the history books.
However, Cody Colley has gotten by Joe Stafford for the free pass position.
I don't think the fire's out in that 56 machine yet.
Hard no, but Stafford is going the wrong way in a hurry.
Yeah, Stafford, I think he just may have used up his stuff a little much, or a little fast too soon, or too fast too soon, Junior, as they said in the original Fast and the Furious. But you know what, in his defense, when you're around those Prodigy Esports Toyotas, you gotta go hard, because you know how fast they are. So if my driver burned his stuff up trying to stay with them, so be it. That's what you have to do. You have to be able to run with them to beat them, because going off cycle doesn't work. We've seen that time and time again.
Absolutely not, because it comes back to bite you. As Ken Ron was flirting, is coming just off of pit road now. No, he was trying to get to pit road and missed. Oh,
I'm
boy.
telling you, there is something going on with pit road here, as it has just plagued everybody, it seems, trying to get on pit road. We've wrecked, lost it getting onto pit road. We've hit the barrels twice, almost a near miss on the third one.
And Kranborg has reeled in Dodson. He's within 0.3 of a second now.
Yeah, this is the closest the 21 has been to Dodson in quite some time out there on the racetrack. Last time by Dodson, a 23.87 to a 23.71 for Kranborg there. That's the biggest advantage that I've seen in that 21 over the 53. I think since he's retaken the lead. But Tony, we're quickly approaching lap 300. Pit stops not too far in the future?
Probably about 20 laps out. They've been going about 60 laps on a tank to go fast.
Now, here's the scary part of this. The 53 and the 56, they had that crazy, just bizarre and freakish speed for the short run. Well, now, all of a sudden, Carl Dodson has been able to carry it longer through the course of the run. So now, if this race, we have a late race caution here, and people come in for put some fresh sticky biscuits on their race car, advantage Dodson. Well, now if it runs longer, Dodson has now shown that he can carry the momentum and the performance of that car deeper into the run, as it has taken, almost 80% of this fuel and tire run for the 21 of Krayborg to get back to the 53. And catching him is one thing, and as you know, Tony, passing him is another.
Absolutely. Huh. I didn't know that was a thing. Gluten-free vodka. I didn't know there was gluten in vodka.
Where did this come from?
The sponsor on the back of Dodson's car.
Well, now I can see it. Thanks.
Ultra premium gluten-free vodka. And bottled cocktails.
Now, hey, look, Dave Regal and I, we have our own thing with spirits and...
Trust me.
Trust me, exactly.
Trust me, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. If you ever hear anyone utter those words, punch them in the mouth and run. If anybody is ever standing in front of you showing you a badge, trust me, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Just hit them as hard as you can and run the other direction.
Well, in the case of the 21, he's doing just the opposite. He's running them down. 53, a Dodson. Hey, learn something new every day. Gluten-free vodka.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know either.
I didn't know it needed to be a thing. As we are 100 laps to go in this round number 11 of the SNN Cup Series. I'm Tony Trapasso. He's Matt Metler. Thank you so much for making this part of your Sunday evening as we are live at Dover, the only full-length Dover race you're going to see on a Sunday.
Whoa, and it's going the distance, and the 21 almost lost it as he got squirrely there coming off the corner. Those tires starting to fade on the 21 as he's had to work harder to run down Carl Dodson in that 53. And that gap has seemed to have stabilized, Tony, right there about 0.3 of a second for Krayborg in that 21 Toyota.
It is at that. And, Matt, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. When they came down pit road, under that stage caution, Krayborg was glued to the back bumper of Dodson, and I think that may have unnerved him, which is why Dodson got held in his pit box some extra time after the tire stop, because Krayborg was bumping on him, but it didn't affect Krayborg as much as it did Dodson.
I seen that as we were cutting away, and you just look at something, and then we cut the commercial break, but that thought was there, and thank you for picking that back up, Tony.
And let me dust that off for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
And I will be right back.
All right, you dust it. Continue to watch here. Travis Krayborg trying to run down the 53 of Carl Dodson, who has seemed to have just gone nuclear out of nowhere here at Dover 400 laps. Miles the Monster has struck and struck often here. Mostly on these pit stops as they have been treacherous. But the man with the plan in the Chevrolet, Carl Dodson, in holding the lead, carrying the torch. I still can't believe it, as the Prodigy Esports cars continue to try and run him down. RJ Root in third, the 74 of Brandon Estrom. Tanner Marty, Alex Princeton in sixth. So while the Toyotas are still dominant in numbers inside the top 10, or inside the top 5, the Chevrolets have found something here. And the leader of that effort, that movement, has been led by Carl Dodson. See the 63 of Nelson, they're going another lap down. Lap traffic now right in front of the leaders. That got dicey there for just a moment. All is well. As again, that gap now down to 0.2 of a second. As Travis Crayborg does not quit. And he will continue to track down the 53 as there is no quit in the driver of that 21 machine. I want to thank everybody for joining us live here on the SRM YouTube channel. You got it dialed into the right spot. Now join the family that has the racing at the right place at the right time on SRM. Easiest way to do that, smash the like button. Join the family. It's that simple.
Don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell notifications.
Oh, there you are. Thank you, Tony.
I just had to go give dinner back. Uh-oh.
Sharing is caring. As now, wait a minute. That just registered. Anyhow, as the show must go on is now working 311, my personal favorite band of all time, if anyone happens to care. The 21 tries to continue to get it done. Can he make the 53 slip? Can he be like the Intimidator of old, the man in black, and just dial up the pressure inside the cockpit of that 53 machine, make him slip, miss the corner? Is the only person that seems to have the speed on the long game for the 53 is the 21. And who else would you expect it to be? I mean, you certainly don't expect this out of the 53 at all. RJ Root still in third, but he is out in the woods as far as it's concerned, as he's 2.32 seconds back. Brandon Estrom is in fifth. Is in fourth. Tanner Marty's in fifth. Alex Princeton in sixth. Cody Colley, first car not on the lead lap. One lap down in seventh. Quickly approaching here, the window to open here for the next round of pit stops, and I believe the 6 machine of, or 62 of John Wilco just went down pit road. Tony is the producer, so he has the cameras. I do not have Jimmy Eggenfelder on comm. I cannot sync with him to change the shot. But Jimmy's always on it, and he shows us what's going on in pit road there. Service starting. Some more takers. Here comes the 82. Alexander Gangler coming down pit road as well. Now keep in mind, these cars are not on the lead, but if they're coming, that means everyone else should be coming sometime soon. See, 2 Kansas Sunoco Racing Field back to the front. Let's get back to the point. The 21 still trying to get it done, getting around that 53 machine. And look at the fight in this kid of the 21 machine. Any race car teams out there watching, this kid drives in real life, and what you see here on iRacing is what you get in real life as well. Give this guy a shot. He will not let you down, I can guarantee it. As he continues to close in inches at a time, can almost sniff that gluten-free vodka coming off the back of that 53.
I think they've got it on chill right now to have it in the cooler ready in case this goes their way.
Oh, he hit the wall!
Cranborg did. Dodson just missed it. Cranborg brushed it.
He got caught in the 53's jet wash. It hit the wall.
And Goose couldn't bail out.
The Goose had gluten-free vodka.
That's a different vodka.
I believe this time by, we're going to see some of the lead lap contenders, possibly the 74 Brandon Estrom hitting pit road as well. Here comes the 69 RJ Root, your third place car, gives up the spot on the racetrack. Here comes the 21. Oh, don't speed. That looks
he
a little
did.
scary. Oh, the 21 gets dinged with a speeding ticket. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Edstrom's going to get popped for speeding on too, it looks like.
No. Tony, what is with this pit road here at the Monster Mile?
These guys are trying to lose as little time as possible. They were both 40 miles an hour when they hit the cone. Let's see if they're going to let this one slide. Right side's on. Team goes around to the left. Left side goes up. We're about to find out. No, he didn't.
The jack is down and away, and there is no penalty. It looks to be administered on the 74. Well, let's see if the shoe one size fits all here. As we had two speeding on pit entry. There's the 53. There's the 69 Arute. Can he get around the 53? He's going to try. He's going to send it in deep on the bottom.
One of his 2 laps back. Dodson's got to get to pit road to stop the undercut.
You know, I admire Dodson staying out there, as clearly he is not shaken or intimidated by the performance of those Toyotas. But at some point, with the over a second and a half of fall off.
Oh my God. RJ Root, 23:02.
Holy moly.
Fast lap of the race, though, belongs to that man in the Superflow 56 with a 22.96.
Yeah, 22.96. Well, I wasn't kidding when I said supersonic, I promise.
Dodson, though, stays out again. He's got to get this one sorted out, but Golly,
he tried to make it on one more stop?
That's what it looks like he's trying to do. Whereas Collie and Stafford are going after each other like two kids in the backseat of a minivan on summer break. You two could stop fighting. I'm going to turn this man around and we'll go home. Man, who you trying to fool, Dad? You want to go to Dollywood worse than the rest of us?
No, I want the pillow. Yeah, I know how those go. I've been there.
So you hit him with the pillow.
Bingo. And that usually solves the problem for about 10, 15 minutes, and then it just builds and escalates all over again. But, oh my! The 21 just about crop dusted the 56 as he was coming with a head of steam.
Well,
and still is.
Cranborg's your effective race lead right now by quite a margin.
Right, yeah, because he's got fresh tires on that race car as well. And you can see just how much faster he is.
Oh, he absolutely is. And here comes RJ Root, who's in the same boat. Everybody else, Dodson, Princeton, Stafford, and Collie, all came down pit road on lap 252.
That's the plan. So it looks like here, the Cody Collie, the 56, and the 54, they are going to try to make this race on one more pit stop. They are going big. They are going all out here with the plan to try and throw a monkey wrench in the dominance of Prodigy Esports. But Tony, I don't know if I agree with it because you're the fastest car on the racetrack.
On fresh tires.
On fresh tires. I love
And-
the fact that they're going big. I just think it's too much.
Yeah, because you got to give yourself enough time to use the fresh tires, and you're going to give up 2 laps in the pits. You are. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you got guys turning low 23-second lap times, and the pit delta from cone to cone is 51 seconds, 52 seconds roughly. You've got to give yourself enough time to use those tires on track as Princeton peels off out of second place. Dodson's hoping for a caution right now.
Yeah, but
Oh my God!
Someone else smoked the barrels.
Seba Cornez.
Can we get someone from race control to make sure like Sasquatch isn't down there like playing with race cars, throwing them at those barrels, because they have gotten more action than the pace car this racetrack or this race. Here comes the 14. And watch those orange barrels there, I assume, or I think, yep, oh, he hit him square. I don't mean to laugh, but the fender just fell off the race car at the same time.
Yeah, that's what you call yeeting a fender.
Well, if that was darts, that was the money shot right there, but unfortunately...
Dodson finally peels off and just barely gets it woed down.
I don't have an answer for this pit road. I mean, it is kicking everyone's tushy. As Dodson pulls off the racetrack, the problem is now he has been out there for a long time on those old, worn-down, cheese-grated to death Goodyears, and you got the man, the speed freak himself, Travis Crayborn, in the lead in the 21 with his best friend behind him, R.J. Root, in the 69, and Brendan Estrom in the Toyota, in that Toyota. So now, by staying out, you have given the reins of the race back to the cars
that you don't want to have those reins.
Correct.
However, he did stay on the lead lap.
Holy.
Stop of the race, 50.5, fastest cone to cone of anybody that took 4 tires and fuel.
Who is this guy? This is insane. This is his first appearance in competition. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, right?
Correct.
First appearance in competition. He is executing. It's incredible.
Hold on.
What?
I'm going to bring something up. Hopefully the show's on your end as well. That explains it.
I don't see it.
Go to the hamburger menu and turn on Show iRating under Data Display.
We're not going to disclose this in the broadcast. That's not what we're here for.
But
if you want my reaction,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, have.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That,
yeah. Yeah, but look at your top 5.
I see. Okay, I see where you're going with that, Tony.
Yeah, go ahead and pull up your calculator for me, Matt, and
yep,
add all those numbers up and divide by 5, and let me know what the average of the top 5 iRating is.
You know what? You got it here. We'll go off. We'll go a little off tangent here and make it exciting. All right, I'm gonna mute out while I do this.
Now, for those of you wondering what we say when we say iRacing, when there's multiple races, too many cars sign up for one race, which usually, for like, say the NIS Open or the NIS Fixed, the NASCAR iRacing series, open or fixed. So many people sign up for those races where they have to put you into what they call splits. And what they try to do is they try to put you in a split with people that have similar skill sets to what you have. So the higher your iRating, the higher the split you're going to be in. If you're just coming out of rookies, they give you a 1350 to begin with. And then from there, you either gain or lose iRating depending on how many cars you pass, how many cars pass you, how many laps you do in a race, do you rage quit a race, etc., etc. So to gain iRating, you have to pass other cars in official races. To lose iRating, you get passed by other cars in official races. So the guys that are north of, I'd say, 2,000 are doing it right. The guys that are north of 3,000 are really doing it right. And anybody over that deserves... You can see the yellow bumper on the back of Dodson's car. You can really see it on our current race leader, Travis Craneboard. You see the yellow bumpers? Instead of having a yellow bumper, there's what we call the black bumper brigade. And those are people with their pro license. Those are the drivers that have proven to iRacing that, hey, I know what I'm doing behind the wheel of a race car, and I should be up for the draft for the next official NASCAR iRacing deal, which is the Coca-Cola Cup Series. So, Matt, do you have a number for us yet?
Yes, sir. Whenever you are ready.
Go ahead. Average of the top 5 who are all your lead lap cars currently.
3850.
That's the average iRating.
Correct.
Including the 5,000 and the 4,000 that are in there.
That is correct. Because you have if you take a look,
you've got a 31 in there. Yeah, you're right.
Correct. Yep.
But still, that's top split stuff.
That's you know what? That's a great great insight there, Tony. I'm going to shut up and let you keep talking.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's great insight and great way to kind of open up the world of iRacing to some of the viewers at home. If they're not a part of it, they're thinking about it, getting an insider's in-depth look at how the ins and outs work. And that may actually have something to do with it, Tony. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, you look at those Prodigy guys with his... Oh, Craneboard bangs the wall again off of 4. He's got to be careful about that.
Yeah,
but take a look at all the NIS open races that those guys run week in and week out. That's why their iRatings are so big.
Now, if you want to talk about iRatings being shocking,
yeah,
we know what that 56 has done tonight, and I'm not going to throw that number out there. That's his business.
Let me go look so I can get shocked as well. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
See, now I got to pull up his license. Well, look at his safety rating, though.
But
look at his safety rating. The only one in the field with a 4.99 safety rating, which safety rating is how cleanly you run in those official races.
I have never seen that safety rating that high, even closely associated with the driver of that number.
Correct. But that would explain why it's that number.
Absolutely. But still, I mean, that number is almost as shocking as the performance that he's had at times on the racetrack.
Oh, he's got the speed. Don't let that iRating fool you. He's fast. But when you're trying to herd squirrels in an iRacing official race, you know, you kind of gotta, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See, there's a reason why I keep this off, because I always like to call it as I see it. I don't, I never want to, be accused of, well, Matt, you know where I'm going down that rabbit hole, Tony.
Well, here, I'm going to say it for you. Here's the thing. Cody Colley as I'm looking through the iRatings of this field, has the highest safety rating of anyone in iRacing. Now, iRacing, it gives you safety rating depending on how many laps you run cleanly. It's the number of clean corners that you have without collecting an incident point. Now, the way you collect incident points are, it's 4 points for hitting a car, 2 points for hitting a wall, 4 points for spinning yourself out, and 1 point for putting your car in the grass. And the number of safety points that you gain has nothing to do with your iRating. As a matter of fact, he's doing the same thing I've done. I'll take safety rating and give up a little iRating in some of those races just because I don't want to race like a dick. And I know when I'm in a league race and I've got a car that I know can win, good luck getting by me cleanly. But right now, Cody Colley has the highest safety rating in the field with the lowest iRating. I'm not going to say what that safety rating is.
Thank you.
Just base it off the fact that just our top 5 are 35 something. 3,500 and something. And, you know, top split in iRacing, that would be a split above top split if you put those 5 guys in a field.
Yeah, that would be like a
pro split.
Yeah, ultra ego pro split, if you will.
So,
but
I mean, Colley's not that far behind in the grand scheme of things, but no, as much speed as that 56 has shown tonight, Matt, you're absolutely right. That's shocking.
I couldn't believe that. I had to blink my eyes, and I was like, what? This has been the theme of the race all night, though, tonight, Tony. I mean, from the drop of the green flag, I mean, as Phil Collins said, you can feel it coming in the air tonight. And there was just this wind of change when we saw Chevrolets go to the top of the board and qualify. We thought, is this a fluke? Is this trend going to continue? And then we saw, how the race normally unfolds, and that's with the Iron Curtain and the TRDs owning the top 5 on the pylon, which they were. And then all absolute hell broke loose when the 54 went supersonic on the top shelf, and then the 53 does the same thing of Dodson later in that car right there. And ever since then, we've had cars smashing the barrels, getting into the pit road multiple times. It has been like a game you play out at a bar with your boys on Friday night.
Well, here's the other thing you got to take a look at, Matt. As the weather's up on the screen right now, look at that track temperature. We are a full 20 degrees now cooler than we were when we started qualifying.
That's a lot. That's a ton.
That's huge.
You're right.
And because of that, look who our top 3 is. Travis Cranborg running a Toyota. RJ Root running a Toyota. Brendan Edstrom, go ahead.
A Toyota.
Uh-huh. And then Carl Dodson is a full 4.5 seconds off of Brandon Edstrom right now. And look who's right behind him.
Exactly. Now, why is he so far behind them? Well, that's because
he got trapped a lap down. Correct.
And why is that? Because they stayed out forever.
Correct.
Which I just don't understand that play. I get it if you're trying to beat Prodigy Esports on a normal day when they're just, they're just like Muhammad Ali out there just knocking the you-know-what out of you on the racetrack.
Oh, here we go. Chris Claude coming down pit road. Now, the question is Dodson going to make the same mistake he made last time? he's going to have to come to pit road right with those 3 Toyotas in front of him.
Has to.
He has to. He absolutely has to. Because the lap times he's been running, he's the only one in the 23s last time by.
Correct.
He's a full half second quicker than anybody in front of him.
So he has to. He doesn't need to abandon ship on the formula that got him to where he was.
But he's going to have to match them pit stop for pit stop here coming forward. Now, you cannot make it from lap 134 to lap 400 on 1 tank of fuel. We've already figured that one out. And the tire deficit, you're not going to gain anything, as he's now reeling in Brandon Edstrom quickly.
Yeah, that's the 3rd place car. But look how long it has taken for him
Right.
to remotely get within striking distance.
30 laps.
Thank you.
And
that's as fast.
Actually, 50 laps. I'm sorry.
50. So hopefully someone wrote it down, sent a radio transmission and said, hey, bud, you might not want to do that again on the money stop.
Well, I mean, you can gamble in the earlier going.
Right.
But the money stop is not the one you want to gamble on. As right now, Edstrom has his hands full with Joe Stafford, who currently, I believe...
Well, wait a minute here, Tony. I see what you're saying. Can everyone make it till the end?
Not from where they last pit.
Well, let's see here. Dodson last pitted.
Dodson might be the only one that can make
it. And you remember when we were talking about why is he on the racetrack, and I just threw out there, is he trying to do it on 1 stop? Now, when he did come in, we didn't think maybe he could, but looking at what I'm seeing now, he may be the only guy that could go the distance, and that's if you run the scheduled no late race caution, no green white checker, no overtime.
Well, if we get a late race caution, it's in his wheelhouse because he's got the best car on a short run.
Perfect. But what I'm saying is he shouldn't have to have put himself in that position, and I agree with what you're saying, Tony.
Right.
But in the event this does run out green, he would cycle back to the lead, but that's putting yourself in a heck of a situation.
Well, he's in a battle for 3rd right now.
I see that. But I would never want to put myself in that situation, relative to how good my car was. I mean, he can run with these guys heads up. Why would you go off sequence? That's the part that I just don't understand.
I don't understand going that far off sequence.
Oh, no.
He's leading on Edstrom right now. They're still leaning on each other.
Shake and shake. What the heck?
26 laps to go.
Get out of there, 53. You don't.
Well,
whoa.
Edstrom was leaning on him. He threw a couple of blocks and ran him up the track in turn 1 on the previous lap. Dodson letting Edstrom know, I'm not a happy camper with you right now.
We know in this race what happens if you keep playing at it. We've seen.
FAFO.
Correct. And I get it. Hey, you want to let someone know you're not happy, but just don't keep slapboxing back and forth, because we saw a massive nuke, get dropped going up into the wall and 2 cars destroyed from an earlier.
Miller was one of them.
Correct. Typically, a guy, a very well-respected race car driver that typically you never see anything like that out of him.
And take a look at the last lap times. Craneboard 24.28. RJ Root 24.40. Carl Dodson 24.01. This time by for Dodson 24.06. Still cranking him off, but he's running out of time.
That's the problem. The clock, the sand in the hourglass is going dry. It is running out. As we're now on lap 379. I'm now 380. which means 20 laps, 20 miles to go here from Dover, Delaware, is right now Prodigy right where they should be. And if you're tuning in, you may say, well, Matt, that's how it always is. Oh, but not tonight. No, there has been the winds of change.
The Pied Piper of Milton, Florida, has another thing to say about Prodigy Esports' dominance so far this season.
Absolutely. As this race has had, I don't know what the word is, Tony. There's just been very strange things happening over the course of this race. With everything that has happened, it's very uncharacteristic of what I've seen so far in SNN.
Well, let me ask you this. Has Miles the Monster been hanging out with the Lady in Black?
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, because, I mean, she'll cast a spell on you that you can't shake. Just ask Junior Johnson when he put a car out of the park there. But it's almost like Miles has been taking magic lessons from the Lady in Black.
Yeah, having to up his game. And I don't know if someone accidentally dropped, 10 gallons of rear end grease down there on the entrance to pit road. But the 53 just caught a piece.
And that's because he saw Chris Claude coming like a freight train on the fresh tires. 18 laps to go. Can Dodson hang on?
And Dodson's dodging bullets being thrown by the 10. Getting back to what we were saying, that pit road entrance tonight has given everyone fits. I know someone literally didn't go down there. It's a sim. They put, rear end grease down there or gear oil down there, but that's what it looks like. Because, we have seen more fails trying to hit pit road tonight in this race than I think we've seen all season long, and then some.
Yeah.
Pit road exit hasn't been much better.
No, because there's that big bump that you got to be careful for. You've got to be in the next higher gear than you think you need to be, because if you wind it out, once you hit that, if you hit that bump in the power band of this engine, you're going around. 15 laps to go. RJ Root might be in trouble.
Well, I think RJ Root knows if he pits, he's in trouble. He may try. There's no way he can make it that far on fuel. There's no way.
Well,
is it possible?
We're gonna find out, because unless a caution comes out, it's suicide to pit now. But look at the lap history. Dodson has been cutting about a half a second out of Root's time every lap for the past 4.5 laps.
I think Dodson's turned on the afterburner again because someone's ripping the bottom, and he is all over the back of RJ Root. There he is. Wow, RJ just comes up the track and gives him the spot.
I don't think RJ had a choice. He was pushing it, and that car just went up the track on its own.
Again, it's this race tonight. Now Dodson, who is bringing the haymaker and then some in the 53 up to P2. He has one more man to catch.
4 seconds and 12 laps to do it. And he's been cutting. He cut a half a second out last time by. This lap, 0.6.
Oh,
at this pace, he might do it.
I told you, he lit the afterburner.
Edstrom's gotten by Root as well. Root has fallen off.
I can't remember when I've seen RJ Root just get out of the way for a competitor. I mean, you don't even see him do that for his teammates that big from time to time.
Dodson just clicked 0.7 out. Cranborg is now in trouble with 10 to go. 2 1/4 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, this Carl Dodson just refired the Saturn V rocket inside of that Camaro, and he is on a tear running down the robotic speed freak himself in Travis Cranborg. This is just incredible. He can see him now. Look at this.
There's Cranborg's out of gas.
Oh, he's out of fuel.
Cranborg and Root are both out of gas. Dodson with the lead.
Oh my God.
Estrom, how much more fuel does he have?
Are they out of fuel or are they just pitting?
No, they're out of fuel.
Okay, their juice box ran dry prematurely. That means the other Toyotas are potentially in trouble. So now Dodson back to the point. The 69 going back by, but that doesn't matter anymore. 7 laps to go. Brandon Estrom, the 74, is he going to have enough to get to the end? Or is Tanner Marty in the Camaro going to have the same success that the 53 is with the fuel mileage? We're about to find out.
Well, he hit on lap 321, so he's got to be careful. But RJ Root down for a splash to go, as was Cranborg. And Root just reset fast lap of the race with a 22.97.
As resilient as that team is and how fast they can execute and get down pit road and get back off and just turn it up. I mean, Dodson literally lit the Saturn V5 rocket, which up until, a few days ago when SpaceX took that new bad boy up there.
And it hand grenaded.
Was the biggest, baddest rocket we've ever seen.
RJ Root, 22.71.
That's the fastest lap for him of his race.
That's the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, holy. That did go purple.
And Cranborg, just prior to Root crossing the line, Cranborg had a 22.86, which would have been fast lap of the race. Those two guys are trying to catch Dodson. The only problem is they're a lap down to him.
Right. I mean, did they make it? I mean, clearly they didn't make an adjustment that fast on pit road, but if they
22.67 for Cranborg.
Or where was this speed 10 laps ago? 20 laps ago?
He was trying to save fuel.
Exactly.
And RJ Root's on one now.
Oh, he's on a tear, 22.67. Holy heck, when you dial the fuel management out of the equation, I mean, that is next level.
2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are in the air. 14-lap fuel advantage. Carl Dodson with a 3-second gap back to Brandon Edstrom, who's just trying to limp that car home. Through turns 3 and 4, white flag is going to be in the air this time by. Can Edstrom get to the line? We are racing back to checkers, Matt.
We are racing back to checkers one more time around for the newcomer, the freak of speed himself, Carl Dodson, in that 53 ZL1 Camaro, who has stunned the entire field here tonight with laser precision speed at will. Comes off of turns 3 and 4 at the start-finish line. It's going to be Carl Dodson in the Chevrolet. It breaks the win streak and the stronghold of his consecutive wins here in SNN. A Chevrolet gets the win in electrifying fashion. Welcome to SNN, Carl Dodson. My goodness.
And Matt, if I could have you jump up to Joe Gibbs and have them remind him he needs to get into the Discord.
Yep. Going right now.
But Brandon Edstrom coming home in second place, able to limp that car back to the line. Tanner Marty Chevy going to come home in third. So 2 Chevys in the top on the podium for the first time this season. 2 bow ties. But Dodson going to come around as we can get the high-speed drone out there. There is Dodson in the Trust Me Vodka number 53. Great drone work. Loving the drone work, guys. What an absolute scorcher. As we are waiting to get our, you know what? We are going to start with, let's go with third place. As Matt, are you back? Matt is not back. So I am going to start with third place, driver of the other Chevy to get on the podium this season. The one of two. Tanner Marty, congratulations on a podium. Finally breaking up that that Toyota dominance at the front of this piece.
Yes, sir. Wasn't expecting to get up there on the podium. Didn't expect those guys to pull off there and do a late pit there. I thought I was pretty much toast. I was just hanging on, man, and we set up for a long run and got it, so we're thankful for it. Had a blast.
How much fuel did you have left when this checkered flag flew?
1.15 gallons, so about 6 laps.
Okay, so you had plenty of fuel left. That was the problem. Is Cranborg and Root were both bingo when they hit pit road.
Oh, 10-4. Yeah, I've been getting myself in trouble with that auto fuel this week, and I finally remembered to turn it off this week and just fill it up full.
That's the way to do it.
There. Yes, sir.
That's the absolute way to do it. But Tanner, again, congratulations. You had a great run. You were running top 10 just about all night long. Talk us through what went through your mind during that first green flag pit stop just prior to the caution when like half the field got caught a lap down.
Just staying out and as long as possible. That's all I was worried about, because I knew if I got caught in the pits and had to work back from a lap down, it was gonna be a very hard night for me. And I just wanted to stay focused on staying out and kind of judging how the pack was racing and how aggressive people on fresh tires were getting against guys on old tires. And I just want to kind of judge that and stay out as long as possible without losing too much ground if it stayed green.
Absolutely. Is Tanner, let's see, next week we are at Kansas. What are your thoughts going to the 1.5 miles there with the tornadoes looming?
I'm looking forward to it, but I haven't had a lot of success there. So I'm looking to get back and go in the right direction, be competitive again. Another week. All we can do, 1 week at a time. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. Should be some good racing.
That's the way to do it. But Tanner, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate this podium with your team?
One of my other teammates, Dalton Mobley, he helped me pick at this setup all week and just really went at it and just put the time into it, did the long laps, and he helped me a lot this week. And all my 4-wide teammates this week, Seba, JC, all those guys. And you guys for the broadcast, of course, and Chris for the race. It was a blast.
All right, Tanner, again, congratulations on the podium. We will see you next week at Kansas.
Thank you, sir. Have a great night, guys.
And Matt, I believe you've got Brandon Edstrom with you now.
Edstrom, Matt, Tony up in the booth. You got us, bud.
Absolutely. How's it going, boys?
We're still trying to figure it out, to be quite honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a crazy end of the race. I mean, I don't know how many laps I ran, to be exact. I actually ran out of fuel before I blew a tire. So, first of all, big shout out to Carl, breaks the Prodigy win streak. Carl is a fast guy. a veteran, firearms lover, great guy. I've got to know him the past few weeks. So if anybody deserves to break the streak, it's him. Big shout out to the Prodigy guys. I mean, I know RJ and Travis blew some tires out towards the end there, but I don't know what I did. I ran hard. I saved it. I somehow managed to keep the tires on it. I ran out of fuel before a tire blew, and win last week, a P2 tonight, definitely going to help us out. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah, well said. And this race tonight, we kind of seen a hankling that something was about to pop off in qualifying when a Rogue Chevrolet went to the front, the top of the pylon. And Tony and I said, is this signs of what's to come? Is this whatever? And when this race kicked off, I mean, for example, pit road was treacherous. I mean, we had cars as lawn darts going into the barrels. What was so hard about getting on pit road here at Dover tonight? Because it was tough for a lot of big names in the series.
There's a big monster statue out front, and as much as everybody wants to believe he's a statue, he's a real thing, and goddamn, he scares the absolute hell out of me because I used to go here a lot as a kid back when I lived in Delaware, and this is the hardest track to get on pit road, maybe Darlington being second, but overall, I mean, you just kind of got to treat it like the commitment line's going into 3. I mean, as much time as it's going to lose you, I'd rather lose time than end up in the barrels. Actually, on that last pit stop there, I was going 47 on pit road, but I slowed it down to 20 miles an hour so that way I wouldn't get a penalty, lost a little bit of time. And nah, man, I don't even know what to say. I mean, again, sad for RJ and Travis, but Carl Dotson, I mean, this guy was on fire tonight, qualified a 10.5, 0.2 faster than everybody else. He could just blow by us on the outside, not save tire, and then in the last 25 laps of the run, save tire and still pull on us. I mean, he definitely had the setup to beat tonight. I'm sad that our streak comes to an end, but hey, you know what? I'm all about the league doing good. I don't want us to have this ridiculous, stupid streak of, all of us winning. I want, other drivers to get involved because there is a lot of talent in this league and, an absolute crap ton of talent. And it's nice to see somebody else besides somebody in our camp winning, as odd as that sounds. But Carl's the guy that deserves it. He's a great guy. Got to know him over the past few weeks. And big shout out to him. He just ran an absolute hell of a race tonight.
Brandon, I got to say, I wasn't sure how you were going to react to this. How were you going to take it? And the statement that you made and how you presented that, for Prodigy Esports, that says a ton about your character, about you as a race car driver. And Ravo, I mean, that just, I don't even know, I have the words to describe how much I think of you for saying it the way that you did.
Hey, I'm just happy I didn't blow the tires off the damn thing, I mean, we got it back to, I literally was talking to Carl in game chat. I'm like, come on, Carl, nose to nose burnout. And as soon as I dropped the clutch in, my crew chief, you're out of fuel. And I'm like, come on, man, I want to celebrate with the boys. But another big shout out to Tanner Marty as well. Luck's turning around for him. Really happy for him. I just want to give a big shout out to my fiance, my mom, my niece, my nephew. You guys, first of all, putting on a great broadcast every week.
Thank you.
All of my family, Prodigy. I know it's long. I do 100% series the day before, so I know that sitting in the booth can be hell at some points. Because last night I was like, "Oh my god, dude, 4 hours! Come on, I'm running out of things to say." But you guys always keep it fun. Matt, Tony, love you guys to death. You guys do great every week. Shout out to everybody at Prodigy Esports. But really happy for Tanner and Carl. It's really nice to see some familiar faces, win besides, the guys at Prodigy. But all good things must come to an end, and hopefully it stays that way. I know that sounds odd as well, but I just love seeing other people win. Really helps out the league, really keeps the fresh faces coming in, helps the viewership. And I just want what's best for the league and what's best for everybody else. And if that takes us not winning, then so be it.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You ever wondered about the stature, just core values of Brandon Estrom? I couldn't say any better than himself, but I got to tell you, Brandon, I'm worried next week that there's going to be a lightning war dialed up in your camp, and you guys are about to go off the charts next week. Congratulations, job well done. That is the driver of the 74, Brandon Estrom, who comes home in second.
Hey, thanks, guys. God bless you guys. Have a good rest of your night.
You too, man. Appreciate
Thank
you, bud. Tony, back to you.
And joining Matt and I now in the booth, the Pied Piper of Milton, Florida, Carl Dodson. I'm going to say this. I want to introduce you this way. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Carl Dodson. What do those 5 men have in common? They know how to put in work and figure things out to make their game the best that it can be. Carl Dodson, congratulations on finally beating the Prodigy Stranglehold at the front of this field.
Well, Matt and Tony, I appreciate that. You know, the strength that we had in the setup is all due to EPI Racing. They put a setup under me, and I struggled all week, and I had Matt, my crew chief over at EPI, literally telling me what speeds to hit because I am an overdriving jackrabbit.
You definitely were in the first sector.
Me and did good. Oh, yeah. I was too loose at the sector. I made some Carl changes, doing some clickety-click crap, but, you know, made sure I had my Trust Me vodka because he was either going to be won at the end of the night or lost early. So as long as you're 21 drinking responsibly, I'm going to be having me some Trust Me vodka here in a second, thanks to EPI Racing.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't know gluten-free vodka was a thing until I saw it on your car.
That's how fat boys stay so thin.
Well, then there you go. But Carl, I mean, just unbelievable run. Spot perfect on the pit road, except for one time you and RJ Root both popped for speeding on. What happened?
That was not speeding. That was actually both of us fixing some of our damage from some errant mistakes. I had gotten rear-ended and literally thought I was being sent to the moon by, I think it was, what was his name? Tyler or somebody.
Travis
Timothy Cook.
Timothy
Cook.
Yeah. No, he definitely, two-tap Timmy was on your back bumper for a couple of times there.
Yeah, he was focused on my bumper instead of what was happening up in 3 and 4. Everybody makes that mistake, focusing in, and decided my rear end would be his breaking point. It happens. It's racing. Didn't let it get to me. Matt kept me calm, kept me focused the entire race. And without Matt and EPI, I would not have been here tonight. And I really do appreciate it, and trust me, vodka.
Well, what went through your mind when you saw Craneborg and Root have to go down pit road there in the closing laps?
It was either they were going to pit or I was going to pass them. I had the strategy. As soon as I saw that they pitted with 80 to go, they were either going to have to back way off and save to make it, or they were going to burn their stuff up. And within 3 laps, I was paying attention to other people, and they were running 22 6s and 7s. And I said, all I got to do is not die myself.
And you were running consistent low 23s for quite a while there. And
that's all due to Matt.
And
Matt
brought it home in one
me.
piece.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
if it wasn't for Matt, it wouldn't have happened.
Tony, Matt, I'm going to chime in here just for a second.
Go ahead.
Carl, first of all, welcome to SNN.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've been welcomed by Chris and the admin team and the other drivers that have welcomed me to the league. I've made a couple of, what would you call, fill-in appearances, like twice this year. That were decent runs, and I'm learning the different drivers, but I really appreciate the admin group and what y'all do for the league, broadcasting it and allowing all our spectators, fans, and family and sponsors to get a hold of this. Without y'all, we would not get our names out there.
Well,
Thank
this
you,
is
Matt.
definitely going to be a one that you're going to want to show the family and the folks at work
Absolutely.
around the water cooler tomorrow when you go in. But, I mean, Carl, congratulations. Matt, go ahead.
Carl, I know you're supposed to say that and you say all the right things, but I mean, do you realize what you have done here tonight on SNN?
Won a race. That's all that matters. I don't care about the competition as far as what has happened in the past. I look at each individual race and move on, thanks to my team that was able to be focused tonight.
Well, you just opened up a new era in SNN.
You just blew the doors off of the squad bay. I mean, it looked like you had a Saturn V rocket strapped to the back of that race car at times. And when you fired off, you took it to the high side and just took off. On Prodigy Esports, that has dominated everything in the series there has been to win since the start of the season. And what you did tonight in the fashion that you did it, and I appreciate and I respect what you said, but we did not expect, and I have never seen anything like this to this degree in my life. And I just wanted to tell you, it was awesome to watch. Thank you for letting me be up here in the booth to watch you go out there and race your tail off tonight. Congratulations on the win, and way to open up a race, your first race here under the lights at prime time. That was magnificent. I'd never seen anything like that in my life, Carl.
I really appreciate it, Matt. RJ, Travis, and that group over at Premier and Prodigy Racing has been fast. Every time I see them, me and RJ have been racing forever. The respect there, I respect him. He respect me. And Brandon racing hard, trying to hold me back. I get it, and we made it through there clean. No hard feelings about that. That's part of racing. But this race goes to EPI and Matt, my crew chief, sitting there keeping me calm and telling me the exact lap times I needed to hit. And as long as I listened to him, I was going to make it there.
Well, was he the one that told you to go to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies there to get to the front?
Well, I kind of said, I got to do this. And he just laughed as I passed all three of them in one turn. He was like, okay, that's one way.
That was beautiful, man.
I fell over. I couldn't figure out what was happening.
They were going to sit there, and I knew exactly what they're doing. They're team racing. They were going to run the bottom, hold me back there, not allow me to get by. And then I wanted to make sure I got in front of them and ran my race. That's what Matt had been preaching all the other laps before that. And if I sat behind them, I would have gotten frustrated and just messed it up. So I said, Matt, watch this, basically. I put my nuts up on the dash and said, big balls, fuck it, send it.
I love it.
Had to go around them.
All right, then. Carl, we go to Kansas next week. What are your thoughts going into the Midwest in another mile and a half?
I'm really looking forward to it. Conti and the rest of the guys have put over a good setup. We worked on it today. I'm lucky to be a part of that team and what they have building over there, and I'm looking forward to Kansas because I actually do better at the mile and a halves.
Oh, crap. If anybody else is listening from the league, buckle up. It's about to be a bumpy ride, folks.
I'm just hoping I got Matt sitting there coaching me and keeping me calm next week, too.
Well, hopefully you do. But, Carl, who else do you need to thank before we turn you loose to go celebrate the victory here tonight?
You got to thank the wife that the ball and chain that runs my life with an iron fist and allows me to do this. And y'all, the league, the broadcast. Without y'all, we don't get our names out there and allow our family and friends to watch this. And it's a aspect that's not appreciated enough. And I do appreciate y'all and the admins and the hard work the league puts in to allow us to have a place to race.
Carl Dodson, welcome to SNN. Looking forward to seeing you the rest of the season. Best of luck to you next week at Kansas, my friend.
Thank you. And if you haven't done it yet, go look at Trust Me Vodka.
I have.
They'll ship it straight to your house. They got different designs, and one is gluten, one is regular, and it is delicious.
And they also have pre-mixed.
Love it, don't you? You don't even have to think. Just pour it in, put it chilled or not chilled, whichever you like, and get to rocking on with your weekend.
Absolutely.
Who is this man? That was perfect.
Sounds like he's a liquor salesman for Trust Me Vodka. But Carl Dodson, we will see you next week, my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night.
But take a look at the results here tonight, Matt. Carl Dodson, Brandon Estrom, Tanner Marty, the only three cars to end up on the lead lap. At Dover.
After those interviews, I don't even know what to say now. Tony, I mean, let's talk about fact. We all knew that SNN had the talent. It's always been there. And tonight they put on a race that we knew that they could put on and then some. This race went, there's not a rating high enough, I think, that you even have in TV ratings that could put a number on how good this race was.
Well, Matt, you realize we only had 3 cautions for incident.
That's it.
They were,
and
they were early
at Dover.
And
the saves we've seen tonight were incredible.
Oh yeah. I mean, and Kavaja Holt still has, or no, it was Lauren Jones who did it, wasn't it? Save of the night where got the car sideways off of 4, missed the inside wall, missed the outside wall, missed the inside wall again, got the car woed down, pointed in the right direction, and kept going.
I mean, I have never, ever saved a full race replay in my life. I am saving this one. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch this again because it was just that good.
Well, just go view it on YouTube.
No, I want a copy of it for myself. Like, I want it locally.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. So you can watch
I mean,
different camera angles and see
exactly.
stuff.
I mean,
Gotcha.
this was a gem. This was a masterpiece. The only thing I could think of to what Carl Dodson did here tonight was Trevor Bayne 2001 at Daytona, or 2011 at
That's
Daytona.
exactly it. That's exactly it in a nutshell. But taking a look at the rest of our finishing order, Alex Prince and Travis Cranborg rounding out your top 5. RJ Root hanging on for 6. Joe Stafford in 7th. Cody Connolly, Tim Cook, and Chris Claude rounding out your top 10. Ken Ron, Steve Herring, and Nick Stein rounding out the top half of the field. Matt?
Nick Stein, I'll take you the rest of the way. The 82 of Alexander Glenner in 14th. 15th belongs to the 62 of John Wilco. Coming home in 16th, the 11 of Lauren Jones. 17th, the 77 of Rick Jett. In 18th, the 63 of Robert Nestor. The 14 of Seba Cortez comes home 19th, and rounding out your top 20, the 95 of John Crow Sr. 21st, Ryan Samuelson. 22nd belongs to SRM's own Dave Regal, followed by SRM's Emily Urias in that 6 Ford Mustang. 24th, that's going to be Jeremy Miller in the 30, who had that big blockbuster moment out there on the racetrack. The 44 in 25th, piloted by Sean Rogers, and the 27 of JC Gipsy comes home 26th. As I cycle the results in 27th, the 31st of Aaron Mack. And in 28th, rounding out your starters tonight, the 00 of Caravaggio Holt.
So that is going to do it for us tonight. He's Matt Metler. I'm Tony Chapasso. Remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that until we meet again, be sure to join us next week at Kansas. But until we do meet again, and as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor and don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.